It's cold, dude. It is cold, man. Dude, why did winter hit me again? It's... I thought we were... Ah, God. All right. All right. We'll get through it. It's fine. I'll be okay. Nope. Yep. I'm good. I'll be good. I'll be good. Good morning. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the VOD. What's up, Alana? How's it going? Dude, Alana. Actually, what's up? Where have my streams been? I've missed hanging out in your chat and not saying anything for 3 hours. And then saying kick lol when you die to something. What the fuck? Alright? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing ghoul shit. I know you're doing cool stuff. What's up, Azura? What's up, Mel? Good to see you. What's going on, Charmed? Ashy? Thorkin. Oh shit, even Thorkin's here. Bro. Dude, what's up, Gamello? Good morning, mods. Good morning, everyone else. Good morning, my friends. Persona 3 Reloaded. Dude, I wanted to play Persona 3 Reload so bad. Problem is, it's $93 in Canada. I can't emotionally buy this game. It'd be the most expensive game I've ever bought. I kind of want to though, because I've missed Persona games since I played Royale. So you know how it is. Break was good, Mel. I'm back though. I am back. I am refreshed. I'm not refreshed even the slightest. I am tired. I am exhausted, and I'm fulfilled, and I'm happy for it. You know, I worked really hard, and I took no time to rest, but I did complete Baldur's Gate, so that is kind of rest time, I guess, depending on how you look at it. But I finished Baldur's Gate 3. I am now a official gator, a Baldur's Gator, as they say, which means that I have the craving now to play actual D&D. Weird how that works, you know. I spent all this time playing imaginary D&D in a video game, and now I actually want to play D&D. And I told my group, I said, guys, it's time. We're getting the game back going. Haven't played in a couple months. Need some time off. And today, I sent them a message. Well, no, yesterday I sent them a message that we're gonna play again. So sick of our shit. Never, Mel. For 5e, I enjoy taking the mounted combatant defeat along with the fine steed spell and military saddle. You get advantage on most attacks, which is pretty pog. What do you do when you're in dungeon? What do you do when you're in dungeon, Thorkin? This is the problem. 2 levels paladin, then bard, college of swords all the way. You know, that's the most original suggestion I've ever had for how to make my paladin work. That's the most original. I've never heard anyone say go college of swords. That's actually useful. Unlike Ashy's simping of 4th edition. God damn, Ashy. What the fuck? You think I'm gonna play 4th edition? You think I'm gonna play that old D&D? That ancient D&D? That game that came out back when Zoomers couldn't even vote? Back before COVID? Back before Obama? Man, you think I'm gonna play that ancient D&D? I'm gonna play something older. I'm gonna play 3.5. No, I think honestly, Ashy, 4E pure paladin was pretty good, wasn't it? I think it was pretty good. I remember it being pretty good. You go into Avenger. Oh, you can take levels in Avenger. You guys remember Avenger? No, you don't. None of you played 4E except for Ashy. That's fair. You see Ulmer's paladin in 4E to know how to make a good one. I'm not playing a Gnoll. What do you mean play a Gnoll? I'm already a Gnoll. I play a fantasy game to not be a Gnoll. Don't make me play a Gnoll. Come on, bro. Penguins did they do the penguin walk this morning? Ella's at the zoo with her friend this morning. Ella decided to go to the zoo with her friend to go see the penguins. Weirdly, when it's -8 outside. I guess it works. So I hope you're staying warm, Ella. Please don't come home with frostbite. Play a cleric instead. Azura, I could play a cleric, but the problem with clerics is, what do we say about clerics? What is the #1 fact that we know about clerics to be true in D&D? Cleric players don't have any friends. Okay? What you have a player, okay, you have 2 players, all right? They both want to play paladins. Okay? You have you have Jamie, and you have Amanda. All right? And Amanda has friends. Jamie has no friends. Okay? In this scenario here. Amanda, therefore, gets to play Paladin. Jamie, therefore, has to play Cleric. But remember what we say. We always say, love your Cleric friends. Okay? It's not, they aren't playing Cleric by choice. They need your love and support. Believe in your Cleric friends. And one day, they'll be able to play with Paladins. Alright? You just have to believe in them. You have to support them. You have to be there for them so that they can actually one day play a Paladin. You know? I believe it. Pure Paladin leans striker leader or play backguard where your oath is to punish sinners. RP for 4th Ed Paladins was pretty intense. I don't know about you, but there's a whole lot more resources for Paladins. Now it's just, you got an oath. Like, how? Here's something I didn't realize you could do until Ella played Baldur's Gate 3. Did you know that in Baldur's Gate 3 you can break your oath as a Paladin? I went through the entire game and I thought I was kind of an asshole. And I never broke my oath. Somehow, before Act 3, Ella broke her oath 3 times. I didn't know. I realized literally all the D&D characters I made have always had hidden identity. It feels dank, man. I rely on this trope. How is being old a hidden identity, Alana? That's not a hidden identity. That's just being irrelevant and having good taste in music. Wait, what the fuck? I had to parse through the D&D characters I know you played. God damn. All right. Clerics are allowed 500 feet of schools. They aren't allowed in 500 feet of most establishments. So, wizard schools, McDonald's, just in general, places where people are happy. That's the problem, man. You gotta love your cleric friends. It's not their choice, and just help. Just help your cleric friends along. They need all the help they can get. So, nobody knew she was young. Nobody knew, but that's not. Okay, maybe that is a hidden identity, actually. I don't know. You know, I guess I understand. I LARP as a 26-year-old on Twitch. Right? People don't believe I'm 30-something. I don't fucking believe I'm 30-something. So, you know, maybe I relate to your character. Who knows, man? Never broke my oath. No idea how. So until I did some messed up shit. What did you do that broke your oath? I should make a Twitter thread that's just what did you do to break your oath in Baldur's Gate? I think that'd be a good icebreaker for people to connect over the game, right? Because what else do you connect over in a video game other than how you did something terrible? It's like the people. It's like there's a club I think I saw on Twitter like months ago. There's a club of people who all chose to kill Gale when he was in the Rock. Like they united on that. They came together and like befriended one another because of the choice to kill Gale on the Rock. So I don't know, man. Maybe people. There's an Oathbreaker alliance out there somewhere. I don't know. Maybe Blaze, you can be the first Oathbreaker VTuber. You know, who knows? I hear Niji Sanji is hiring. So, Lae'zel broke my oath for me because before she was even in the party when I was playing with Ashy. Apparently that can happen. That happened to Ella too. I don't know what Lae'zel can do to mess up your oath. Like, is it just you I don't know, what you choose to kill the tieflings or you choose not to kill the tieflings? I don't know what breaks your oath. I think the problem is that people don't pick Oath of Vengeance. Because if you're like Oath of Devotion or Oath of like Who Asks, Ancients, then the problem is that in general, your oath is kind of not really obvious, right? It's like, ooh, Oath of Devotion, I'm gonna protect the innocent. Well, who's innocent? The tieflings you're about to slaughter or the Githyanki they're about to slaughter? I don't know, man. But Oath of Vengeance is perfect. The Oath of Vengeance Paladin is the band Sabaton and Powerwolf all at once. What is your oath? What are you supposed to do as Oath of Vengeance? Purge heresy. Punish the unbelievers. All right? That's what you have to do. Deus Vult. It says you're a heretic. But, like, it's obvious, and I like paladins like that. I want to play... Here's the thing. I'm kind of nervous because so I said that I've been playing gonna go back into my D&D game. I kind of don't want to play with my players, and I gotta be frank with them. And you know what? Clip it, send it to Ella, send it to Jackie, send it to Dashto, send it to Limit. I don't want to play with them. I don't want to play with their stupid characters. Nope. When I play D&D again, I want to play with between 4 and 8 Oath of Vengeance Paladins. That's what I want. I want a party of Oath of Vengeance Paladins. I want to play the most heavy metal Paladin D&D party ever. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I don't want to play with any of this pussy-ass bard shit. Ooh, I'm going to sing a limerick and you're going to be inspired. Fuck out of here. Ooh, I'm an astral sage. I'm going to cast magic. How about you fuck off? Right? No. I don't want to play with no druids. I don't want to play with no tree kissers. I don't want to play with no sword suckers. I don't want to play with no losers. All right? I want to play paladins. Big, hairy, sweaty paladins. That's right. I got to tell Jackie and Ella they have to play big, hairy, sweaty men. I just want to play a World of Warcraft game. Shut up, leave me alone. Soundtrack Powerwolf and Battle Beast. Yes, Eleanor, thank you for filling in the blank there. I know I can count on you. What's up, Croc? What's going on, bro? Oath of the Ancients is sick AF. What has an Oath of the Ancients paladin ever done? That's the question. A 14-year-old artificer tiefling in like a Western space campaign. He forged his ID with tinkering, uses a voice changer so he can get hired for the big boy jobs. Everyone thinks he is some wild Australian loot goblin, identity completely hidden. So you are playing, Alana. You are playing the 2004 World of Warcraft experience. That you don't realize that's what you're doing. You are doing the 2004 World of Warcraft experience. Do you know? I was in a guild in 2004. And they said they're like, hey, this guild is a mature guild. No squeakers, no teenagers, no kids in our guild. Are you a child or are you an adult? Can you drink? And I said, yeah. They said, all right, welcome in. And the thing is, every like 14-year-old knew the other 14-year-olds in the guild. We all knew each other. We all knew who was the other kids, because it's like all the like big boys, all the adults would be drunk, and we'd be the ones like actually doing the raid. And like you'd send a message, you're like, wait, you aren't drunk. And the dude's like, no man, I just gotta focus on the raid. And you're like 15 as well, aren't you? They're like, yeah, you got me. All right, yeah, let's get it. So I think that's a great D&D character. That's a historical nerd archetype right there. The 14-year-old trying to be accepted by the big boys so that he can play the video game with them. So step off by druids, mate. What do you mean? What do you mean step off your druid? Bro, what has a druid ever done? Okay? I mean it. What has a druid ever done in a D&D game that mattered? All right, Critical Role, Keyleth. Oh, she talked to a tree one time. Bro, I know a guy that can sell you a bag of shit for like 20 bucks. You can talk to any tree, all right? You can talk to as many trees, lampposts, billboards as you want, man. You don't need to take 8 levels in Druid to be able to talk to a fucking post, okay? Like, this is Canada I live in, all right? No, man. Nah, get out of here with that. Keyleth, ooh, I'm gonna make it rain. Meanwhile, clerics are like, I'm gonna summon the vengeance of my god to empower me as a radiant beacon of light to destroy the darkness of the world. And that's saying something, because they're being shown up by clerics. So that's how it is, though. I know how to make good paladins to deal damage. Evan, I only know roll natural 20s. Look, Ivalon. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you get got. No, I need to make a good paladin for 5th ed. But here's the one. So here's the one thing that I will not do with my paladin. all right, that I will not power game with my paladin. I will not take levels in barbarian. I don't want to take levels in barbarian. I don't want to rage. I don't want to use rage as a mechanic. Rage, I get it. Oh, you want to play a paladin? Take like 3 levels in paladin, 3 levels in fighter, the rest into barbarian. You'll do so much damage. Like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking barb levels. I'm just going straight paladin and something else. College of Swords bards is a great idea. Actually, I've never thought about that before. Fighter, obvious choice. You know, the fighter din. Cleric, I don't know if I want to do cleric. Let's face it. I don't think you can mix clerics and paladins, but you know, could be wrong. I don't know, man. I don't play D&D anymore. Take him to the Feywild. No, we're not spending 8 levels of our character just to go to the Feywild, okay? The Keyleth was kind of mid. Keyleth was mid. Dude, sometimes it hurts to hear the truth. No, I wonder what the most useful character was in original Critical Role Campaign 1. Because we can base all of our opinions off of any D&D classes based on Critical Role Campaign 1. That kind of goes against our cleric ideas, though, doesn't it? So, definitely wasn't Keyleth, though. Nothing against Marisha. Best Paladin is the one who never lands a hit, constantly getting pummeled by the enemy, and then one-shots everything with crit smites. So you just want to play Shield Mastery. Okay. All right. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Blaze, I am regretfully here to inform you, you are not allowed at our Paladin game. Yep. Yep. Sorry, man. You put on a shield. You can't crusade with the shield on. Sorry, bro. I think it was Sam's character, Scaling Bard, is the best. Bard actually did pull out some crazy shit. You're all right about that, you know? But the thing is, Bards are... I've never really played a Bard in a long-term campaign. I don't know if I could, emotionally. I need to be able to hit things a little bit harder, you know? And, but to be fair, I will pose the reality here. I have never played a Bard in 5th Ed. Okay, I've played Bards in 3.5, in 4E. I've never played a Bard since I started playing 5th Ed. So maybe they're good. Maybe they can hit shit. I don't know. Apparently monks can hit shit in 5th Ed. Talk to the monks in my games. It was funny because he made his D&D character asking what is the worst class in D&D. That's crazy. Didn't he just ask Liam what he should play or whatever? Travis' ability to RP and have a good time is unparalleled. Well, we're not talking about characters like individual contribution. Otherwise, yes, Travis does win that game. We're talking about just the pure class mechanics of it. And I'm kind of convinced that maybe Rogue. Maybe Rogue's the one. Seem to be doing a lot of cool shit. But what Paladin uses a shield? Exactly. The only time you can use a shield is if your axe is shield shaped. There you go. Message dash about the music thing is time to anxiety pace. Listen, there's a long time before an album 2 is coming out, or even maybe going to be in development. So just be patient, all right? Be patient. There's no need to be anxiously awaiting anything. Yeah, this can be a while. I mean, album 1 isn't even out yet. Album 1 is coming out this month, but we don't know when. Dasher doesn't know when. Apparently, it's whenever Spotify sends things through for approval, which is days, weeks. I don't know. I don't even know if he sent it in for approval yet, or if he's doing that like this week or whatever. It's only the 8th, so I think he has like another week before he needs to send it in for approval for Spotify. But I'm so excited for the album, dude. I'm so excited to have the official music of Eldara on the service, the music service that I use, so I can actually play it on stream instead of just whining about it and wanting to play it. So I don't know. Good morning, Atari. What's going on, bro? Scenario happened back with a paladin I played years ago. I would always roll sub 10 on attack rolls and then crit something to death right before I die. Oh, okay. Yeah, so your dice knew. Now here's the thing, were you using rigged dice? Because if you're not using rigged dice, you should definitely ask Ella about that. Yeah, it's that's something Ella can help you out with. I'm pretty sure she can make you wait. She's never done it, but I'm trying to encourage her too. I'm trying to encourage her to make a cheaty set for me. I want a set that rolls all ones. That it is impossible to roll anything but a 1. That's what I want. And I want it to be my loner set. So like when you have your friends over, and you know you always have a friend that forgets everything. They're like, oh hey man, I forgot my book. Can I use your PHB? Can I share it with you? And you're like, yeah man, sure, you can share my PHB with me. And then it's not sharing the PHB. They usually like give it to them for the night. They don't want to give it back. They're like, oh hey, just don't lose my pages. Like, okay dude. And then like, you know, you're playing for a couple of hours, and then it's dinner time, and they're like, hey man, just so you know, I forgot my wallet, so can you get me for a pizza, and then I'll get you back next week. And you're like, bro, I got you for pizza 2 weeks ago, and you still haven't got me back for that pizza. Yeah, I'll get you back for both, all right? And you're like, okay, all right, fine. That friend also forgets his dice. If this sounds very specific, it might be. I might have a friend like this. But I want to have a dice set that was like, oh yeah, man, I forgot my dice. And then you know why I want to give him the shitty dice? Because he somehow has enough money and sense to bring his own fucking Cheetos. And he uses my dice, my blue dice, that become now blue and orange dice. He's that guy that thinks that licking the fucking Cheetos dust off of his fingers and then using the dice is an acceptable way to do it. Now you just have Cheetos dust and your fucking gross saliva on, you piece of shit. Okay? So I want to get a dice set for him. And I want to get a dice set that only rolls 1s. So it's like, hey man, sure, you can have my loner set. Yeah, I don't mind, bro. You can use my loner set anytime, man. Yeah, it's fine. You know, here you go. Here's a loner set. You know, and I just want to only roll 1s. Only roll 1s. And that's how I feel about it. The Eldara OST is up before the Eldara book. It is. It is going to be out just in time for the first adventure to be published, hopefully. Horizon's on the horizon. And the soundtrack's gonna be waiting for it. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm hoping that by the time there's like an official Eldara Kickstarter for the setting campaign guide, that there's a number of OSTs available for all the different settings ahead of time. But I don't know. I wrote so much backstory for this character too. Sometimes it helps, Croc. Sometimes it doesn't. You know? You just have to do your best, bro. That's the way you deal damage to paladins, is tell them that their god doesn't love them. Now I asked how to make a paladin, God damn it. How do you buy the book? There's no book to buy right now. So the first adventure I release is the prologue adventure, and it's just gonna be free, right? It's just something for our Discord, for a community, for everybody to play if they want it. And it's also sort of proof of concept for the next adventure, for like adventure episode 1. What I'm doing right now is adventure episode 0. It's kind of confusing, but it'll make sense when I have more of them out, I guess, more of them released. So adventure episode 0 is the prologue. It's gonna be shorter. It's gonna have a little bit of everything in it, but you know, not a crazy amount of items or maps or art or characters. Kind of a manageable project, right? And then adventure episode 1, the first official, you know, entry or whatever, that I'll probably do a Kickstarter for. I'll probably do a Kickstarter for that one, and that won't be another project until probably to talk about the end of the year or whatever. But yeah, that's gonna be a project, and then after the adventures are out, then I want to release a campaign guide. That's like my 5-year plan. The campaign guide is like year 4, I think. You know, it's gonna be a while. So, entities, yo, oh shit, a whole year, dude,
wow.
An actual year. What the fuck?
I finally checked my Twitch recap and it confirmed I'm only on this platform.
Perfect.
For you, so that's cool, I guess.
Perfect.
What's
dude.
This about an Eldara OST?
Dude, entities, first of all, thank you for a whole year. That's a long time, man. That's a long ass time to be a sub. So thank you, dude. I'm honored. The Eldara OST is here. I'll show you the album artwork for it. It is coming out on Spotify this month at some point.
Wow, 33
Where
months.
Where it at? There it at. There it at. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. It's a thing. It's a whole thing. It's gonna be an official project. So, there you go, man. There it is. Croc, thank you for the 33 months as well with your Prime. I appreciate always being the Prime option on a given month. So thanks, dude. Appreciate it, man. was I? Okay, prize is gonna be released by April. I might go to GameCon in Lexington and run an open gaming test for Gen Con. It's hopefully gonna be released by April. That's the goal, you know. Ideally, it's gonna be released well before the 4-year Twitch anniversary. So I am personally shooting for February being a catch-up month for me, getting the rest of my stuff done, and then March being finalizing all the material for the adventure, and then hopefully releasing it by the end of March or early April around there. So that's the goal anyway, you know, barring any catastrophes or whatever. Donde esta la biblioteca? Quiero adora pagar para el proteco. I don't speak French. I'm sorry, Azura. I might be Canadian, but I don't speak French Canadian. So you have to get Thorkin to translate that for me. So, or you say in Spanish. Looks amazing. Thank you, Mel. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, this is a painting that I did. A painting that I did for the album artwork. I'll show you the whole painting. Where is it? Ruins. There. Wait, no, there it is. There we go. That's the whole painting. So, yeah, I did it for the album artwork and also for sort of the title screen of the project for Eldara, and I'm very proud of it. I haven't done a painting in a while. I haven't done an environment painting in a long time. So this was a lot of fun. I did this over my break, and I'm very proud of it. Even though I probably shouldn't be, but I'm still proud of it. It's important to me, I guess. It was fun to get back into environmental painting because I haven't done that in a long time. But yes, so the adventure will be out soon, hopefully. The album is going to be out this month. That is composed entirely by Dashto, and a lot of most people I think have heard a bunch of the music from the album already, as he's been working on it. Like, it's available on a SoundCloud. You can go listen to the previous mixes right now if you want to. But the proper like final mix is going to be on Spotify in the next week or so, or 2 weeks, I guess, because it's February. So we're not missing February. Just got back from my trip to Spain, and I got so much inspiration while being there. I thought you went to Portugal. I didn't realize you got to Spain as well. Oh, that's where your library Patreon is. Wait, what library Patreon? What are you talking about? Library Patreon. The library is available to subs. Yeah, the library is open to all Twitch subs. You don't have to be on Patreon for that. You can get access to all the stuff in the Guild library, without being on Patreon. Patreon's like extra shit that it's gonna be pretty cool. Actually, I'm gonna be doing some cool stuff with my Patreon when I relaunch it in March. March 1st is gonna be the day. So March is gonna be a big month for me. March is gonna be the relaunch of the Patreon, the relaunch of the print store, and I got some really cool stuff that I'm really excited about for the print store. What else? I don't know, man. I just got a lot to work on. I got a lot to do. We have projects to finish, bro. I did Portugal in September and now Spain for January. Oh shit! I didn't realize you went to Spain as well. Okay, you still lived in Madrid 12 years ago. That's pretty cool. I always wanted to go to Spain. I don't feel like I'm smart enough to go to Spain though. I feel like you have to be a certain level of cultured to be in Spain, you know, or to be in general Europe. And So Guapo tells me I'm not it. So unfortunately. Thank you, Croc. Glad you like it. Which is very Eldara, but it's reminding me of some Bionicle stuff from my childhood. Bionicle, really? I didn't think that would be an inspiration, but it's a joke because Donde esta la biblioteca was a meme. Oh. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't speak German. You gotta translate for me, but thank you for clarifying it for me. No, I'm not even a little bit of Spanish speaker, unfortunately. I tried. I can speak a little bit of French. I can speak a little bit of other languages, but Spanish is one of those languages that I just don't have any grounding in whatsoever. So you'd think I'd be able to speak more languages considering where my family's from, but I'm just a dumb Canadian who needs to speak anything but Canadian English, right? A lot of people in big cities are English speakers in Spain. Natives are extremely friendly. I have heard the exact opposite from people who have been to Spain. Like from like friends that have lived in Spain for like art school or whatever. They say people in Spain hate foreigners and that Spain is like the least foreigner friendly place to go. You know, you go to Italy and someone's like, all right, you fucking weirdo. All right, I guess I'll speak English to you. But apparently people in Spain are mean, you know, from what I've heard. if you don't speak Spanish and if you're not a local. So, or at least maybe like local to Europe. I guess they don't like North Americans. Maybe that's just an art school thing. Who knows? It's changed. Maybe my friends are assholes, and really, if you're not an asshole, then people are gonna be nice to you. But the first wave of old stone mythical ruins type stuff. God, I remember a little bit of the Bionicle stuff. That was like really old. Like I was really young when Bionicle came out, so I'm having a hard time remembering all the artwork and stuff. And I remember jungles. That's what I remember from Bionicle is jungles. You go support your creator. Give me a second. No, you don't have to do it. Azure, you don't have to do nothing on Patreon. All right, it's not even up until March, so it's not gonna there's nothing coming yet. All right, I appreciate it though, but thank you. Shows notification on stream when somebody supports your Patreon. I do, but since Patreon's paused, it doesn't show anything right now, so it doesn't actually post any of the notifications through to stream, because it isn't actually live, if that makes sense. It's just paused. So I actually don't even know if you can like join a tier or whatever, but regardless, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. It is the Patreon is going to be probably the lifeblood of Eldara as a project. I'm gonna be moving a lot of the cool stuff that I'm doing over to Patreon, because Twitch has been kind of spotty and a little bit weird, and it's not the greatest place to to center a lot of the community development stuff. So I'm kind of trying to move a lot of it over to Patreon this year, but we'll see if it goes well. I don't know. Hopefully people like the adventure and they find some value in it. The main goal of the adventure for the Horizon episode 0 is to get people into the world, right? To get people into the game, to create a character, to have a bit of context in the world for their own story. And then that will ideally, either sell people on the idea or not. People say, hey, this is either a cool idea that I want to, bring some of this into my own game, or I want to play with my friends in this world or whatever, or it's a learning experience for me. And people say like, nah, it's kind of cool, but I'll pass or whatever. Either way, this is like a kind of a test for the actual project when it releases. I'm very nervous about actually releasing like a big Kickstarter like adventure. Because I don't know. I don't know. I've never really done any like actual like crowdfunding or anything. Like, man, I don't know how it'll go. I don't know if it'll explode or if it'll be trash or whatever. I'm not expecting much, obviously, out of it. Like I think my expectations for how the first adventure goes, like the first Kickstarter adventure goes, is gonna be pretty mid, pretty low. I think it's kind of unrealistic for me in my size as a streamer and a creator to expect anything large, but hopefully, like ideally, if we can like hit a couple of goals and I can like basically work on it for a couple months without worrying about doing other stuff and other projects, then that's like the main goal for the Kickstarter. But that's not until later. This is what I need to worry about, this project first, to show off like what is possible, so that people can say, okay, if this is Evan at 30%, what does Evan at 100% look like, for adventure planning, adventure writing, or whatever. I love when people try to speak Spanish and put in the effort. Most people from most countries, I feel like, appreciate that, especially from people who are English speakers that, can kind of walk around speaking their own language anywhere in the world. It's kind of a nice thing. I very much get the same feedback when I'm like in Japan. I'm speaking Japanese, sometimes poorly. People are usually pretty excited about it. So Patreon or Coffee, I've heard people say, is one of the better ones. Or one is better than the other, but never really used or looked at any of it. Well, they're a bit different. They're a bit different use cases. Patreon, I think, is more reliable for community building. It's and Coffee is more reliable for like sort of projects and stuff like that. So for instance, there's an artist and a streamer that she does commissions based off of Coffee. So she will have like a tier or whatever that you can support. Basically, you support like 35 or 45 or whatever it is dollars. And you post a fucking thing, and then she'll do a piece of art for you or whatever. And so I think it's better for like projects, but I think Patreon's better for community. It's more well known, it's more recognized, it's kind of more accepted. It's got, I think, better communication on it, from like creator to patrons, and also more built-in stuff like Discord connectivity and other stuff like that I think is a little bit more sophisticated than Coffee. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a negative opinion about Coffee. It's just Patreon's where I started, and that's where I am. So if fees were a lot better on Coffee, then I would consider it. But Patreon's fees aren't bad at all. You know, considering I come from Twitch, where Twitch's fees are like 50% sometimes, that's pretty rough. Hypothetically, can I give you food money and you buy Indian food with it? Indian food is great. That would be fucking awesome. I miss Indian food, but I can't eat Indian food right now. I can't eat anything exciting, honestly. I'm boring right now. I'm a boring boy. I got problems with my stomach, so I can't. I'm basically, with my stomach problems and my restrictions, people say like, hey, so what can you eat? And I say nothing that tastes good. Yeah, nothing that tastes good. So that's my, can't eat anything spicy, can't eat anything too strong, like garlic and onion, that kills me. I can't eat anything fun, you know? I have to, you know what I ate for dinner last night? I ate ground beef with salt and pepper and white rice. That was my dinner last night. 652 calories, ground beef. I don't know, it was like 40 grams of protein or whatever. That's what I ate for dinner last night. What I ate for breakfast this morning was rice cake, egg, and avocado with salt and pepper. That's what I did. So yeah, until I can figure out my health situation, I can't eat anything fun. So I can't even eat at like restaurants and shit. It's rough, bro. But you know, hopefully it'll figure itself out in the next year. I've been dealing with this for about a year and a half now, about not being able to eat anything properly. So who knows? Hopefully it'll figure itself out, because I miss Indian food so bad, dude. I miss Indian food. The thing I miss the most, oh my god, the thing I crave the most that I can't eat is actually Mediterranean food. There's this like, there's this like place that is like a Palestinian, I don't know, shawarma, kebab, whatever type place that's like close to my house, that I would get food there every single week. I miss it so bad. I miss all that stuff. So yeah, unfortunately, any food money I get will go towards Costco ground beef. I can still have sweet things though. Like I basically can't have any like spices or anything like that, but I can still have things like cinnamon and nutmeg and like fun spices. So I don't know. I can eat a cinnamon bun. As a Dutch speaker, I could also walk around the whole world, speak my own language, but everyone just thinks I'm a weirdo. That's true. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, you guys had your time on top. All right, you guys had your Dutch Empire, all right, and everybody spoke Dutch, and I don't know what you guys did with it. I don't know. Y'all lost it to England or some shit, and they lost to America, and Canada's just on the sidelines wishing we could speak French. I don't know. It's crazy. I wonder how long it'll be until we have a universal language. It's not called coffee or coffee. I don't know what it's called. It's Ko-Fi. That's what it's supposed to be. It's K-O-F-I. Ko-Fi. That's what.
Here's some Costco ground beef and cinnamon roll money.
Thank you, Azura. I appreciate that. Thank you. That is. Hey, listen. That is. I priced out my meals. That's dinner for me tonight, dude. I actually priced it out. No cap. For me, it's about $1 a dinner for my ground beef. So thanks for dinner, Azur. I appreciate that. Thanks, dude. It means a lot. What if you did whatever food you want to do now, but with Indian spices? I would still die. That's the problem. I'd still die. I would just go into anaphylactic shock and need to be hospitalized for a week. So yeah, no, it's rough. I don't bitch about my food problems, but it's been actually pretty, it's been a big challenge over the last year, you know. But whatever, you know, that's just, I don't want to come on stream and just bitch about stuff and complain and whatnot. And you know, it's also motivating, because if I can't eat anything fun, it makes my whole like my weight loss journey easier, I guess. Since I had these food problems, I've lost 80 pounds, but that's been mostly through dieting and exercise, and also just not being able to eat anything fun. So it's not like I can go out and eat a big old I don't know, plate of, like I can't eat pizza anymore, you know, because pizza has a lot of things like garlic and good stuff in it. So haven't eaten pizza in a year and a half. Haven't had like a burger out in a year and a half. I haven't eaten shit, man. I've been a good boy. I've been sitting at home eating my ground beef, my rice, and my my wraps or whatever. So I'll be okay, hopefully. I'll figure it out, maybe. I don't know. I've been feeling better recently, but it's the kind of thing where it's like I don't want to push it. It's like when I feel better, I could maybe try to like be a little bit more adventurous with like my food for a little bit, but then in the past what's happened is I get a little bit too ambitious and I go do something like I'll go like eat something with some garlic in it, and then it'll put me back like months worth of progress. So I'm just not messing with it. I feel good. I don't want to mess with it for the sake of having, you know, something better to eat for dinner or whatever. But man, I miss it. I miss it every day. So started dieting and working out. I've lost 30 pounds since May. That's awesome, Entities. Thanks for sharing that, bro. I'm always excited about people's progress for their health. You know, I've been doing this. It feels sometimes like when you're doing your health and fitness journeys, you're alone. And I'm always so excited to hear other people doing it as well. So that's awesome, bro. You got this shit. Yeah, fruits. I can have fruits. I can eat most fruits. I can't have a lot of citrus fruits. Like I haven't eaten like an orange in you know, I don't know, 2 years or whatever. But I can eat most fruits. Most fruits, like plain. Yeah, I eat a lot of pineapple when it's in season. Eat a lot of berries because they're cheap. But yeah, it kind of depends. Sometimes fruit messes me up, but when I feel okay, like I have been for the last couple months, fruit's definitely easy for me. It is really just things that have like flavor to them that I can't eat. You know, things like onion and garlic and strong flavors like that, and certain vegetables also mess me up. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's up. Doctors don't know what's up. They've sent me for lots of tests and nothing comes up. And I even had one of the doctors say that I was imagining it. You know, that the problems I had, he was like, why are you sure this isn't due to stress? And I was like, I don't know, man. Is it? Like, you're the fucking medical professional. You tell me. He's like, well, sometimes people have a tendency to exaggerate health problems when it relates to dietary issues in their mind, you know. And I'm like, so my brain's making shit up. And he's like, well, maybe, you know, it's a possibility. I'm like, I assure you, when I'm on the floor having heartburn so bad I can't breathe and I need to go to the hospital because I can't swallow, I can't even talk, I assure you I'm not making it up. And he's like, well, just maybe next time you just, you know, try and breathe through it. And I'm like, I'm gonna burn this place down. I'm gonna burn this entire fucking place down. So yeah, it's it was a little annoying, but to be fair, my family doctor, he basically said, Evan, you are at the end of what our medical system can provide you. What is going to help you and fix you is probably not within our healthcare system. So start doing weird shit. Start trying weird stuff, like eating weird things or fucking yoga or whatever. Like, just start trying weird shit. But he's also pretty confident. He's like, hey, if you lose all of the weight you need to lose, like you go down to like single-digit % body fat, you might feel better. It might just fix your problems. So that's my current goal. That's my only thought right now is, you know, either eat Costco ground beef for the rest of my life or hopefully finish my weight loss journey and be all good. But that's nothing to worry about. Breathe through it. Yeah, I don't know, man. Some top-notch free healthcare. Listen, in Canada, we got to try our best here. Okay, all the good doctors go to the U.S. when you're in Canada. Well, not all, but it's like a meme here that all the good Canadian doctors go to the U.S. That's happened to multiple doctors in our family, in my family and Ella's family. They went and took big fancy hospital jobs for American USD in the US, and they're just like, fuck this, man. I'm not staying in Canada to make, you know, $250 a year Canadian when I can make $400 a year US in America. Fuck that shit. So I don't know, man. You have trouble sleeping? You tried going to bed at night? Yeah. Alberta's so sucky for doctors, dude. I really like my doctor. I'm really glad I have a really great doctor, but like I had to go to like do specialist stuff, and that was all, you know. That was the funny thing, you know, when I had to go do, I had to wait like 12, 15, whatever, 18 months for a specialist appointment. It's just kind of funny. I'm not actually mad about it. I'm not bummed about it at all. I've gotten used to eating the way I do, and you know, it's all good. All right, so the first adventure, Horizon, like Atari asked, is it gonna be out by April? Ideally, it's gonna be out by the end of March. Yes, because I know that there's gonna be a couple people going to Gen Con. And Atari very kindly offered, I saw in Discord, to run some Horizon for people. And I really want... Okay, here's what I want to do. When I finish the Horizon adventure, depending on how many people give a shit, which might be a lot and it might be nobody, It might be like 4 people, and it might be half the guild. I don't know. What I want to do is I want to run the adventure for people in the Discord. I want to run the adventure for a couple groups in Discord, maybe if I can. And I want to run for the very first group. I want to run it for people who are willing to run it for other people, right? Basically, I want to run it for GMs in the group who, if they want to be part of the first, you know, TDC members to go through the adventure, hopefully a 3-session cut type thing, maybe 4, depending on how much they drag their heels. I want to run it for them with kind of the understanding or promise, ideally, that they would be willing to run another group through, right? So if I run it for, you know, Azura and Vidi and Blaze and Soja, hopefully the 4 of them would be willing to, not saying you have to, but just willing to, if there's a group of people, of 4 or 5 people who want to run through the adventure, say, hey, I'll run you guys through the adventure because Evan ran me through it, you know? Because I figure if I run like 5 people through the adventure and they all run 5 people through the adventure, that's 25 members in the guild that gets to be done, like have the adventure run for them in the guild. And then I can run it, you know, over the next couple of months or whatever for another like 5, 10, 15, 20 people or whatever. But I want everyone who wants to, like, part of the adventure, the first adventure, is to contextualize why anyone should give a shit about anything I'm doing, right? I want you guys to who are willing to come play the adventure, to come play in Eldara, and say either that was really cool. Like, ideally, I want it to be fucking cool. I want it to be one of the best D&D adventures you ever run or you ever have. Right? I'm not greedy. I'm not ambitious. I want to be up there with the best D&D adventures you've ever played through. So if it is, great, you know, and then hopefully it makes people more excited about stuff that I develop. So when I say, hey, I'm building a new town here in the world, it's not just like, okay, that's cool, it's a cool town in Evan's world. It's, oh, I can go here the next time I play that character in Eldara, right? Or I can take my players here now, or I can run my players through this or whatever. I want to build some context for people to give a shit about what's going on in Eldara. So that when the first adventure episode 1 officially launches and does the whole Kickstarter thing and whatever, and it's a big deal, anyone might care about it, right? Because I never want to do something that isn't of value to people, right? I never want to do a project that just sort of launches with this hopefulness that people give a shit about it. I want there to be a definitive, like, yeah, I'll play this game, or like, yeah, of course, I want to see more of this. I enjoyed the other stuff that I've done, you know, in Eldara or whatever, and I want to see, like, I want there always to be an excitement and a value for bigger projects. So Horizon's supposed to be that. Should be coming out ideally in March. That's a lot of work. I might have to take a week off in March, maybe, to just drill it in. I have a lot of work to do, a lot of artwork to do. I don't have much concept sketching to do anymore. I've done a lot of secret concept sketches that you guys haven't seen yet. I have some tokens to make, which isn't a big deal. I have some items to make, which is I could do that in one night, probably get all 4 of the items that I need to done. And the maps is the big thing. The maps and the writing are the big things that I don't know how long they're going to take me, right? Because I'm in the process of them. But the writing is rough at best, you know, so I have to like do my best to make a properly well-written, well-edited adventure for people, and then just hope that over the next couple months that I can get it properly edited after it releases, leading up to the so what I release in March is going to be sort of the first edition, first version of it, you know. Obviously, like, I would want to pay somebody to edit it properly, but I can't do that before it launches in March. But I can do that before the first adventure comes out in, you know, November or whatever, or adventure episode 1 comes out in November. So that's that, and then the map making is the other thing, because I don't know about maps. The thing is, a lot of people say that there's like very useful tools you can use for map making, like Incarnate or whatever, or Dungeon Battle Your Mom maps. I don't know the names of all these tools, and I feel like I've tried to learn a bunch of them, but nothing seems to be really as fast as just Photoshop, as just hand painting the entire battle map, which sounds a little silly, you know, because it's like, oh well, if you like make a leaf brush and then you pattern this and do whatever. I just don't like the way it looks a lot of times. So if I'm gonna be doing two battle maps, God, I really want to do, oh man, I really want to do one for each encounter, but I don't know if I can do that. Maybe I can kind of do that because one encounter is gonna be pretty simple. Another one's gonna be pretty complicated. Two of them are gonna be, I know what to expect, and one of them is gonna be really complicated. So I don't know. I gotta figure out how the maps are gonna work out because like I don't know what people's expectations are for maps and adventures, right? Like battle maps. Like if you buy an adventure off the store shelves or whatever, you know, is there an expectation that it comes with battle maps for every encounter, right? And I don't mean like random like strange encounters off in the middle of the wilderness. I mean like planned encounters. Because I would want to have a battle map for every single one. I feel like it's kind of necessary for what I want to do for the adventure, but I don't know if it's too ambitious or not the right thing to plan for the prologue adventure. We'll see. I read 2 games in my life and they both fell apart during the first session because I'm so bad at it. You're not bad at it, Blaze. Your players are bad at it. Remember, there's never anything to criticize yourself as a DM over. It's only your shitty players. All right, that's the first rule of being a DM. It's never your fault. It's definitely more taste aversion. Whenever I try to eat seafood, I feel being sick. Yeah, it's nothing like that for me. It's I don't know. It's just stomach doesn't know how to work properly for me. So it's because I have a hernia. I have a hernia in my stomach, but that's the whole reason for it. But yeah, I can run it for other people. Excellent, perfect. Yes, I mean like I'll be hoping to run it for a bunch of people that are at least willing to. I'm not saying that you have to, especially if there's no interest in it or whatever, but just people who would be willing to run it for others in the Discord. That's a big thing for me because I want everyone who has been a part of this whole stream and this whole, you know, nonsense for the last couple of years, everyone who wants to play a character in Eldara and have their own little piece of it, who wants to play the game. I want everyone who wants to play the game to have been able to get a chance to play the game. That's my goal. I know it's maybe a weird goal. It's when we have 500 plus something, 600 plus something Discord members. I don't know, to be fair, how many people will actually want to play the adventure through. Like 3 sessions worth. That's like 12 hours of D&D-ish, I think. I don't know if it's gonna be like 10 people or like 100 people. I have no clue, you know. But I would be surprised if it was as few as like single digit. You know, I would say it would be like, I can think of probably like 20 people off the top of my head right now that have expressed interest in playing in the game. But I'd be very surprised if it was more than 100, right? I'd be shocked if it even got anywhere close to 100 people that wanted to play, because there's a lot of people in Discord. You know, our guild is kind of weird. It's fun, but it's kind of weird. There's a lot of artists. There's a lot of you know, D&D players. There's a lot of like people who are sort of here just for the vibes or whatever, which is cool. I'm glad for any reason anybody stops on the stream. But when I think about our Discord and people who actively want to, like, yes, I'm here for the project, I'm here for Eldara, I'm here for the Realms of Eldara project, I want to see it, I want to play in it, I want to do it. I don't know how like what kind of a population that represents, right? So Tales Paris one, though, there are a few updates. It's only before it really hits Eldara level. Most pre-written ones I've seen have battle maps for most, if not every planned fight. Right, yeah. That's the thing. I think there's an expectation for that. So I got to get good at I got to get good at making them faster. You know, they can't take me 8 to 10 hours each, which they currently do when I do a battle map. Post Pathfinder, at least. I'd rather play it before trying to run it, as I feel like I'd give me better headspace or perspective on it. Its feel before trying to run it. Well, exactly. That's why I kind of want to create a pyramid. I want to create a pyramid scheme of D&D, whereby it's a reverse pyramid scheme. Instead of D&D being run to the top, I want to run it top down. I want to run the game for 5 people, or let's say 10 people. If I can run 2 groups through, and those 2 groups are full of people who are willing to run the group, like willing to run the game once for another group of people, for 5 people, then that's immediately 50 people that get a chance to play the game. That's pretty cool, I think. So we'll see if people are interested in it or not. I don't know. I definitely want to understand how you want to run your world before I run it myself. That's fair. But like part of it also is there's going to be a lot of room for, like, I don't want DMs to feel restricted. I want the adventure to be very much like, we were talking about this a bit yesterday, of how direct and hand-holdy is the adventure versus how much of an outline or guideline is it. You know, I want the adventure run by any individual DM to feel very much like an adventure run by them. It's just the outline is written for them, so they don't have to like do a lot of prep and planning. But the individual like characters and what makes, or the characteristics of the adventure and what makes that GM a good GM, I want that to come out and shine first and foremost, because I think that my adventure is not okay. So there's like two kind of ways that you can think about adventure writing. I think I could be wrong with this, but here's my philosophy, and maybe I'm wrong. My philosophy is that there's two ways that you can sort of run, like why would you why would you make an adventure? Why would anyone care about a pre-written adventure? One is either to have as little work to do as possible. So as the GM, all you have to do is show up. The game runs itself, right? The dialogue is already there. You are the Baldur's Gate 3 narrator, and you just need to unleash the adventure upon the players and roll some dice here and there. You know, it's supposed to be written. The point of it is that it makes running D&D as easy and chill as possible, right? That's like number one. The second is to empower DMs, empower GMs to have to not have to worry about the big outline stuff of like where we're going in the plot and what's going to happen, and maybe like if there's some key points, but for DMs to show off their creativity within the place where I think DMs really do the best and really show off the most, which is in the small details. You know, a great GM is not the GM that writes the Lord of the Rings, that writes the grand story that, you know, encompasses the 3-year adventure that the players go on. And oh my god, I can't believe the villain was this and that was that and the whole thing. The thing that players are like really remember from games are the vibes, are the experiences, are the moment to moment sort of gameplay things. It's how the inn feels when you go to the inn. It's how the crypt makes your character feel when you go down to the crypt. It's the small things that GMs do that really adds their spice and flavor to the adventure. And so the adventure is then written to empower them, so they don't need to worry about the big meta stuff. They can worry about the small little things that are fun to sort of build. And part of that's kind of you know, a bit of inspired by me playing in Star Wars as a setting, right? The Old Republic specifically. I think that playing in Star Wars always really empowered me as a GM to do my best GMing, I guess, because so much of the world was already set up there to allow me to do cool shit, right? Jedi as a concept, for instance, the black market underbelly, bounty hunters, Mandalorians, you know, galactic trade, all these systems that are sort of created within Star Wars, and not necessarily just George Lucas's Star Wars, but the extended universe, and, you know, Knights of the Republic and Force Unleashed and the Star Wars RPG and all these cool things, the comics. They create this cool like collective kind of description of what happens in the world, and you as the GM can talk about the cool little interactions and things that happens within the framework. I didn't have to worry about creating and building a framework for the adventure. I could do the fun stuff, the detailing work, you know? It's like I feel it kind of like having anatomy already drawn for you as an artist. It's like do you want to spend you know 3 hours working on the anatomy of the character, or do you just want to do all the cool detailing, you know? And I personally enjoy the detailing, right? I enjoy that kind of work, which we're going to draw some character stuff today. And it's like so my goal for the adventure is to draw the anatomy and the basic concept for you, and then you as the GM get to fill in all the cool little details. And so that might be not what some people are looking for. They might be looking for more hand-holdy adventures, but I just don't think I could write a good hand-holdy adventure. I think, well, maybe I could, but it would take me way too much time, and I couldn't do it on my current sort of like content schedule, whatever. So that's why I'm sort of opting for two good reasons, I think, to do the more open adventure. So yeah, I mean, there is something to say of like, oh, I want to see how you would intend to run the adventure, Evan, and then I can run the adventure for my players. But like, part of me also thinks that I really want the adventure to be accessible for people that don't know how I would run the adventure, right? I have the big story beats for you, but like, man, how the City of Horizon feels for your players when they walk into it, how the majesty of the ancient ruins and the jungles and whatever they go adventuring and traversing through, I want that to be very much a GM stamp on the world. I want every D&D group's like canonical telling of Eldara to be very different and very cool based on like what kind of a GM you have. So Yeah, it's kind of my like in between feeling of how I feel about like, should I run the adventure for people first? But because there is also the idea of like, should I run the game as a live game on Twitch? Find 5 players that are willing to sit through 5 games, run it for them over 3 weeks, on 3 Thursdays or 4 Thursdays or whatever, and then people can see how the adventure plays out. I don't know what the best solution is. I might choose to like opt for that for the Kickstarter adventure later on. But for Horizon, I think I just kind of want to put it out there and just like see what people do with it, and just see if people want to play it and get feedback on it. And then maybe I'll run an adventure through with some friends this summer or something, because I have lots of streamer friends that I know will never play through the campaign unless I run it for them on Twitch. So, which isn't a bad thing. It's just the way it is sometimes, I'm toying with the idea of reserving an event table to schedule a playthrough of Horizon Gen Con, having to charge a few bucks to cover the Gen Con fee. So thinking about it. I don't know if you could get through the entire adventure in one day. I don't know how that would work, actually. I mean, if there's people who are interested in it, sure. But I would say try and see who's actually gonna like who would actually show up for it before you actually try and like get a formal table at Gen Con. I'm hoping I can go this year, actually. Obviously I don't want to announce anything or promise anything, but I'm really, really hoping that Ella and I can make it to Gen Con. There's been some communication with her and a bigger dice maker company, actually, that it might look pretty optimistic, actually. Ella might get to sort of jump the line for Gen Con a little bit as a dice maker, which would be amazing, and she deserves it. But I don't want to promise anything. I don't want to get my hopes up either, right? But I would play. Are you kidding? If there was like a marathon session of like Gen Con day 1, Atari's running like a 12-hour Horizon adventure, are you kidding? I would be there so fast, dude. I would bring my paladin in. I'd sit down with my little Blackwood dice, my character sheet. I'd get my little dice tray and everything all set up. I would play the shit out of that for a marathon day. I don't care if we have to start at 9 a.m. and go to 9 p.m. with only 1 bathroom break. I don't care. We got places to go. Let's go. I would still do it. You want D&D to be an infectious disease. That's right. That's right. D&D is already an infectious disease, Garthen. Mediocrity in D&D is an infectious disease, and I'm the cure. That's right. I'm going to make a cool D&D adventure that people are actually going to give a shit about, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to not really even get my hopes up on people wanting to play the game, because I think there's a lot of people who are very, like, and very kindly so, interested in the project that I'm doing, But like whether that translates to people actually playing the adventure, I don't know if it's gonna work out. At the end of the day, the project has to be in some ways, for my passion first and foremost, because it's not a monetized project really. I want as many people who want to play through the project to play through the project. I don't want there to be some big like, oh, we gotta figure out like, if people are gonna play this, if it's worth my time to make it or whatever. Nah, this is kind of like me coming to the conclusion I did, or coming to the like inevitable conclusion that I sort of started a couple years ago when I said that I wanted to create kind of a concept art project. But there needs to be a product behind it. Whether that product is a video game or movie or whatever, I think when you're doing concept art for a project, like what is the concept art for, if not for some kind of a thing that you can put your hands on and say, hey, this is a cool project or whatever. So that's like in the back of my mind the whole time. I just hope somebody plays it. If like one group chooses to play the adventure for their home game, for their friends, that would probably make the entire thing, well, I don't want to say worth it, because like the project is worth it even if nobody wants to play it. But that would be a incredible sort of like milestone for me that would make me very satisfied with the project. What's up, Crispy? What's going on, dude? How you been? Had nothing foundation, you knew what you could play with, bend and break while making it expansive rather than deconstructive. Yeah, I don't know. It's God, I'm just nervous. I'm nervous people because like part of the problem is I know I don't play and run D&D in a very sort of orthodox way. I play and run D&D in a more personalized sort of like old school way of running the game, you know? And what I'm concerned of is that people are going to walk in like having only 5th ed experience and saying to themselves like, oh, this is weird, man. This isn't D&D. Like this is a strange kind of way of running it. Like where's all the D&D, man? Not that that's really gonna change what I think is the right, objectively like right things to do for D&D adventures, because I have to kind of believe in my own vision in a way, but I am concerned that there will be like little to no interest in it because of that. And what I mean by like kind of like unorthodox or whatever is there's lots of things that I choose in a D&D adventure to sort of like I will rebalance or retool adventures on the fly. I play D&D with a methodology, not with a style. That's the difference. Not with a style, but with a methodology that is very like old school, where the rules of D&D are simply a guideline to help you have a great game. But ultimately, for me, rules are very discardable. If I don't like the way a rule works, if I don't like the way a scenario is playing out, if I don't like the way something is feeling, I'll just change the rule, man. And that's kind of weird for a lot of players. A lot of people get very uncomfortable with that idea. And I think part of that's because Wizards has done a very good job of intentionally making the game more of an identity and saying like, yeah, you have to play like this. This is the way you play D&D. Because I think that this isn't some like evil like corporate control thing. I think their goal then is to try and make D&D more of a homogenized experience so that there is a way to run D&D and a way not to run D&D, if that makes sense. So that you have people getting similar experiences, right? So that there is an idea of like a controlled like sort of quality for what D&D is, which I don't like, but I think the Wizards, they have a plan for that. There's objectively right and wrong ways to play a lot of D&D. Now Wizards, like if you ask like Chris Perkins, I bet he would disagree with that. But I think the proof is in a lot of the publishing. And maybe this is on my own interpretation on it. Maybe somebody disagrees. I'd be curious. But I think that Wizards has sort of removed a lot of the like agency of DMs to kind of make shit up. And also, here's the thing. Maybe it isn't Wizards' fault. I'm saying how Wizards has contributed to it, but ultimately the problem might not be Wizards. It might be a community issue, right? Because in like to go directly against what I just said, 5th ed was meant as a more free-form system to empower DMs to make more decisions on the fly, right? That's kind of like what the entire like crux of Advantage as a system is to empower DMs to give you conditional like, yeah, you could probably, yeah, you have a good chance of doing this. Sure, man. Here's Advantage. You're like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if the dragon's gonna bang your bard. You can roll like a charisma check with a disadvantage. So I don't know. It's just a very. I say things every once in a while that people disagree with D&D. That kind of shocks me, That like, it's like, well, Evan, that's not the way it's supposed to be run. It's not the way like the rules read as, and I'm like, who cares what the fucking rules read as, dude? Like, just run your game the way you want, Tell the story you want. I mean, if the D&D rules are not helping you do that, then like, play outside of them for this encounter. Change the mechanics of how actions work for this one fight. It'd be kind of cool. Oh, I have this idea how to run a cool boss mechanic, but I can't based on like the current action economy. So change it. But if I change it for one boss, I have to change it for every boss. No, you don't. You can do whatever you want. If you have a good head on your shoulders on how to make and craft a good experience for your players, where you're focusing on their experience first and foremost, you can change whatever the fuck you want. That's how I play. If you have, you want it to be unique on its own thing, though. There's concern that if you divert so far from generally accepted rules of a genre game system, the people who are initially had interest feel deceived. Yeah, I think that's something around there. Control of expectation, totally. Yeah. For example, every game I run, druids can wild shape infinitely because I said so, because I find it dumb that it's only twice ever and they suddenly it becomes infinite at 20. Yeah, that's kind of a weird one. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. No infinite HP. Yeah, all right. That's probably better. The problem at a brand, I don't think it's a problem as a player, is each D&D table is too unique. Yeah, but like, do you think, like, actually, okay, so do you think that there's been a homogenization with how D&D is supposed to be played because of Critical Role? Like a harmful side effect, not even like necessarily a harmful side effect, but just like a side effect of Critical Role is that there's a lot of expectation that people play D&D like Critical Role. You know? Because, like, I don't know, man. Here's an instance of something that I want to do that's not really like traditional as to what 5e players are used to playing. I want to make class fantasy more important. I want to make class fantasy more important, and I want to lower, like here's how I think it breaks down right now. You've got a pie. You've got your pie chart. Okay, this is a perfect circle pie chart. You've got so this represents the entire story. Okay, and what's important in the story? Old school D&D was like, it looked like this. You had your character. You had maybe your class, and then you had the plot. That's how it used to work, right? Your character's backstory, your character's fucking name didn't matter. You were Throgard the Barbarian. And then the new sort of pie chart, it looks something more like this, I think. I think this is more accurate. I think a lot of modern D&D players, their D&D experience is 2/3 at least is their character, their backstory, their dramatic traumatized childhood, whatever. Their plot, you know, the plot is kind of like it happens, but it's not the major issue that's going on in the game. And very small of it, a very small sliver. Class also represents, you know, the fantasy, or the world, or whatever. And I think that this is like, it's a fine way of playing the game, but I want to bring in, like, I want to make the class fantasy, the world, the whatever more, because here's the thing, your character's individual story in a lot of ways doesn't build a great adventure. If you have a group and here's the difference here. When you have a group of people that occupy the main character slot, the main character is the party, you generally have an easier transition into a meaningful story, because you have the party and the plot. And the party is the main character in the plot of the story. And so the party is the Fellowship of the Ring, going to Mordor, going to Mount Doom, going to Gondor, going to Moria, whatever. And so you have the opportunity for a big important plot to happen. But when you have a party full of main characters, the main character, or the party itself, is no longer the main character. So you have everyone in the party, and here's how you do how do you tell if you have a party that's a main character as a whole party, or if you have individual main characters running through a story. Does your character and does the combination of characters in your D&D campaign, do they form a unit that complements each other, that is in some ways maybe archetypical, that can form different facets of the heroic main character? Or are you a group of individuals and only individuals that doesn't contribute to a greater sort of group. You can say like, oh, well, like we're like, for instance, look at the Mighty Nine versus Vox Machina. Vox Machina had great individual characters, great individuality, great individual stories, but they all sort of formed different parts of a main character, of a main party, right? You look at the Mighty Nine, it's much more individuals. Less of them are forming, so it's less about the group and it is about the individual character stories, right? And you take time away from the plot to resolve the individual character stories. Not a bad way of playing D&D. I'm not criticizing that at all. I'm just saying it's a different way of playing. And I feel like in campaign 3, for instance, it's even more individuals, even more a group of individuals going and doing individual things while there's the story going on in the background, right? And so I think that bringing in certain things like class fantasy is a good way to kind of like have your characters connect with the world, because the problem is, so what's the bad part of having individual characters that don't form an individual story? The bad part is that you don't connect with your world as much. Your story of what happened to you when you were a 15-year-old at the Magic Academy and you were, abused by the upperclassmen to the point where you murdered all of them in their sleep with dark magic that you found in the tome, the dark recesses of the magic library, and the headmaster, kicked you out and whatever. Like, you got this whole fucking story. It doesn't connect you to the systems of the world, to the parts of the world that really matter. It connects you to stories that you sort of plant into the world, but it doesn't connect you to the world in a way that contextualizes anybody else's stories, which, again, not a bad thing, but it's just a result of what happens. And so when you create characters with the world in mind, with the systems of the world in mind, you create characters that matter more and can contextualize other characters' stories a little bit easier, right? So for instance, if you have like, oh, I'm from this magic school and I'm a prodigy. Oh, I'm from this town and I'm a demon prince. Oh, I'm from this town and I'm the smartest artificer that's ever been, whatever. Your character stories don't really matter to other players. They don't contextualize anything. They don't build currency for the world, right? And why do you want to build currency for the world? I think it's because it's an important thing to do when you are trying to tell a collaborative story. Not that D&D is a collaborative storytelling game. Some people say it is. I say it's a war game that you can tell a collaborative story in. But regardless of how you prioritize that, it's really a chicken and the egg thing that doesn't matter, ultimately. But the thing is that when you play, like for instance, when I played my Star Wars game, Ella's character was a Jedi. And so she operates within this system of Jedi. And that makes that she supports that system and that existence of the system and within the world and the context of how it matters in the world by playing a character that complements it. Dashto played a bounty hunter who was like kind of an aspiring Mandalorian. So he kind of played a Mandalorian without playing a Mandalorian. So a Jedi and a Mandalorian, or a Jedi and a bounty hunter, or a Coruscanti and a foundling Mandalorian, whatever you want to call it. And they both had characters that fit within the world. So their characters never disrupted the systems of the world. They never had to like pull any currency away from the world to create their characters. Their characters never conflicted with the world's existence, right? And so they had a great connection to the world. And so as characters and as players, there was a lot of opportunities for me as a GM to give them to have that connection pay off, right? And it's harder when your character is more focused on their individual story than they are as a place in the world. So class fantasy is a great way, I think, to do this, to buffer the in-between so that you're not removing someone's individuality and saying you can't be, you have to be knight number 5 from this kingdom, whatever. You don't have to remove their individuality. They can still have their dramatic backstory, their, home that they burned down, their family that they accidentally killed when they learned dark magic, their mom they resurrected with their brother who's now stuck in an alchemical metal suit or whatever backstory you want. You can have your dramatic backstory and you can have a connection to the world. The connection to the world, that tether between you and the world, is your class fantasy. And that's how I think the best D&D games do it. Your class fantasy is, and you can look at a game like World of Warcraft. One of the best times that people had opportunities to connect with the world was when class fantasy was at its strongest. And people crave class fantasy. and they lament it leaving and celebrate it returning whenever it happens in the patch cycles and the development of World of Warcraft as an MMO, universe. And so like during Legion, as the expansion, you had a very strong sense of who you were in the world as a paladin. You could be, Damrith Ilan, the half-blood elf, half-noble highborn elf from Silvermoon City who had demonic apparitions in their family coalesce into the servitude of your father and their 3 brothers, who then tried to put you into their cult, but you had to slay them to fulfill your paladinly oath, and you've never gotten over the scar of slaying your uncles and your father and your little sister who attempted to stab you with her demon blade that would have infested you with Illidari spawn creep tumors that would grow and spawn sunken colonies. Okay, we're playing StarCraft now at this point in time. Sorry, I just got to think about StarCraft. You can have your backstory. Your dramatic backstory can be as dramatic and individual and whatever that you want. You can type your 18-page, whatever, and have that really great experience of typing, getting your whole backstory together, and you don't have to lose anything for people who really, really love that critical role backstory. I'm the main character. Look at me. Focus of the game. And by the way, I'm not mocking you, and I'm saying I'm the main character. Look at me. It's your game. You're the main character. Look at you. No one should try and tell you that you can't play D&D like that if you want, but you can have that without sacrificing the world's your connection to the world, and you can help build still currency to the world by having a strong class fantasy. Because at the end of the day, that character is a paladin and goes to the Paladin Order Hall and is part of the Paladin, brotherhood, sisterhood, and whatever. You do cool Paladin things. It's just another thing you do as your cool character. Look at you, you're the main character. Look at you, the main character, doing Paladin things. And so I think class fantasy is something that D&D has really gotten away from. There isn't really a class fantasy when it comes to playing druids or whatever, because class fantasy used to be restrictive. It used to be restrictive and not which it has to be a little bit. There has to be some restrictions. But it used to be like sort of more familial. It was like, oh, us druids have this bond. We all do druid things. We do these similar druid things that makes us feel like druids. And here's the druid fantasy. And the DM can say, here's all your cool druid fantasy things that you can have a really cool druid moment, And you saw that kind of shit also in campaign 1 Critical Role. Remember when Pike did cool stuff? Remember when Keyleth did I was memeing about Keyleth, but remember when Keyleth did cool druidy things? It's like that's a druid, man. Holy fuck. Right? And I think that it's a good way to so one thing I want to do that's a little bit unorthodox is I want to have side quests. So this is for adventure the adventure episode 1. This is for the Kickstarter adventure. I won't have time to do this for Horizon unless somebody drops a massive amount of crowdfunding on my lap without me asking. I want to do class quests. Class side quests. When you're in the city of Grandcrest, all right, which is where the first the first Kickstarter adventure kind of takes place, is kind of contained in Grandcrest for the first little while. You expand out obviously pretty quickly, but you spend a good time in Grandcrest within the city. And Grandcrest is a very large city floating in the sky. It's very, very large. I want there to be a storyline that you as a paladin, a fighter, a cleric, a warlock, you get to go through a class fantasy story as a side quest, a cool little thing that doesn't take you too long, but while you're in the underbelly, the DM has an opportunity to offer this hook to the rogue players, right? The DM can at some point in time, you'll have to go to some temple and have them identify a relic. And while you're there, if there's any cleric or paladin players in your party, the DM can offer them this plot hook for a small little cool thing that doesn't really have a massive story impact in it, but it makes you feel like a paladin as fuck. You feel like really cleric in that moment. You get to do something really cool, really cleric, really paladinly. It's something I try and build into my own games. I want people who pick classes to feel like they're that class. I had a rogue player have to do a skill challenge in my last game where he had to lead the players through this old smuggling tunnel sewer system where he had to find all these traps and do all these lock picks and do all this stuff and read thieves' cant to find the way. He had to do all the stuff that only a rogue could do. And at the end of it, he was like, man, rogues are really cool. And it's yes, that's all I want. I want you to think rogues are really cool because you got to have a moment where you got to be the rogue. You got to be the guy, the rogue, the paladin, the fighter, whatever it is. And that helps connect people to the world and build that currency so their character can still form a piece of a greater puzzle and a piece of a greater pie than just being a random individual character. So, I don't know. Maybe that's a dumb rant. Maybe nobody cares, but this is the kind of thing that I talk about where I play a little bit unorthodoxly for the sort of the main cast of D&D playing adventures, and whether people think it's cool or they think it's like dumb and like, no, I just want to play a Critical Role game. Evans, get out of here, boomer. Right? It's like, okay, man, like, I don't know. I just hope somebody wants to play the game that way. That somebody cares when I write that kind of stuff for them, you know? I don't think it's circular. I don't think it's actual tables too impacted by Critical Role, but I think the public casual opinion discussion circles, and I think Wizards seeing the online discourse is trying to push the direction, which leaves more people thinking D&D should be crit role repeat. That is absolutely correct, I think. And you know what's an interesting metric that we could sort of maybe use to define that a little bit more, Ashy? I wonder, and I don't think we have numbers for this, but I wonder what percentage of D&D players now use D&D Beyond. Not that it's like, oh, every D&D Beyond player plays Critical Role, but like if there was a large portion of players that didn't use D&D Beyond, it would elucidate this entire community that doesn't give a shit about what the online discourse is, that doesn't hear Critical Role do whatever, that doesn't play online, they don't use the tools, they don't do whatever, they play pen and paper on their kitchen table with their friends on a Saturday night. And I wonder how big that community is. If it's like yeah, it's about 50-50 and you're like, okay, cool. Or if it's like 90% of people don't use D&D Beyond, they just do their own thing. Like I wonder I don't know if we can get any data on that, but people who only had Critical Role as their introduction instead of learning grassroots style and then watching Critical Role definitely skewed perception. A lot of people saw it as working and being engaging and went, I want this, and started emulating it. That's a good point. They saw a certain quality of it and thought that they thought people think the charm of Critical Role is the gameplay style and not the people. It's very weird. Way rather than learning professional was tilting the camera. Yeah, that's I think you're right about that. I want someone to tell my story and then let me crack skulls with my great sword powered by the sun. That's you. All right, you're back in the Paladin game, Blaze. You're back in the Paladin game. It's just you. Currently, it's you, Thorkin, and Ella, and all of you are big, hairy, sweaty men, except for Ella, who's just Ella Blackwood at this point. But it's Ella and the 7-foot tall Aasimar Paladin, and then you guys have to be also 7-foot tall, big, hairy, sweaty men. So. A lot of people enjoy the classic specific options in Baldur's Gate 3. I think so. I think it's kind of one of those cases of and this might be I am aware this might be arrogant of me to say. Okay? I'm aware of it. But I think that sometimes you need to have a little bit of arrogance when you're creating art that you know what's best, right? Otherwise, no one creates any interesting art. If nobody has any confidence in what they're doing, then they don't have any. No one does anything new because no one then thinks that they have the audacity to deviate, right? I think people want class fantasy. They just don't fucking know it. I think a lot of people like and want elements of the old school D&D games injected into their D&D experience. They just don't fucking know it, right? People will never ask for what they want. They'll tell you what they don't like and what they like, but there's a certain portion of it that people kind of don't know what they want. And they look for people who like tell cool stories or whatever. You know, like nobody knew they wanted Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate told them they wanted Baldur's Gate, and everyone was like, okay, you right. This is what I want. You know, and I think that maybe that's what I'm trying to do a little bit is say like, hey, here's kind of a weirder way of playing D&D. What do you think? You know. So, I don't know, rather than just saying like, oh, this is the accepted way people play D&D, so I'm just going to do an adventure that supports that. That's what I mean. And I'm not trying to like force a way of playing D&D down anyone's throats or say the way they play is wrong. But I just think that a lot of people from my personal experience have really loved having that class fantasy brought in where you get to feel like you're part of a tribe. You know, you get to feel like you're part of a group. Like you're a warlock, man. You get to be a warlock. Warlocks are fucking cool. Everything that you like about warlocks, here they are. It's like the dudes that would walk around BlizzCon with like a class t-shirt. Like I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. That's right. I'm a fury warrior. I do fury warrior things. They love it. So I hate DMs who tell me just to make backstory with no context of the world. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I will always like, I'll never tell somebody that they have to do something or not in my game, but I will always encourage players. It's like, hey man, if you really want to have like a meaningful backstory and you want your character to have like a spot in the world that really like matters to the story and matters to, you know, what's going on, let me help you. Let's figure it out. Let's and I'm very, when somebody's willing to sort of play within that kind of framework and to work with me, I will break canyons. I will bend the curve of the world for them. You know, I will go to lengths for them to make sure to make sure the character feels good in the world, right? Because they are putting some faith and trust in me to try and help them contextualize their character in the greater world. Hell, I made an entire town for Ella, and it's not because she's my wife. Ella does. I didn't make Hearthwood Village and the entire nobility of Southwood because Ella's my wife, so she gets whatever she wants in the world. No, I would have done that for any of my players that said they wanted to be part of this noble structure or whatever. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Had nothing to do with her, you know, wife privileges or whatever. It's because she said to me, I want my character to fit in the world really well. Where is there a structure of nobility that kind of feels like this? And I'm like, you know what? There isn't one, so let's fucking build it. Because that's a cool idea. And now we have the entirety of Southwood. The entire story of Stonemark spawned from it grew out of the story. It's like the flower growing, or the stem of the flower growing out of the petals. That's what happened. You know? We had this like idea of how Stonemark or how Southwood worked, and the rest of Stonemark grew out of that. You know, it's like one little blossom on the tree that spawned the entire tree. Can be a sexy anime lady? Yes, you can be a sexy anime lady. That's a welcome. In Eldara, of course. I would never tell you not to be one if that's what you so chose in my D&D setting, unless you were Blaze. In which case, no, I'm sorry, bro. You can't be a hot anime girl. You have to be a big, hairy, sweaty World of Warcraft man. But you're allowed to allure. Now, what if I'm a player that loves bending and breaking class fantasy? What if I'm a Celestial Warlock with Pack the Blade and medium armor? Is it loose enough for me to squeeze into this Cleric or Paladin class quest, or do I still need to go shake hands with the Eldritch Devil Boy? So that's at that point, I think that's a really cool way of like here's your class fantasy, right? The uniqueness that you would bring to it as being someone divergent from class fantasy, like let's use a more edgy example that's maybe a little more obvious. You are an Oathbreaker Dark Knight Paladin. You're a paladin on paper, but really you're an edgy aura Dark Knight main. It's like, how does the edgy boy fit into the paladin class fantasy story? I think that's a cool story. Because the way I would design class fantasy around that is to make it an interesting way. So yeah, the whole shaking hands with the Eldritch Devil Boy would ideally be more interesting than, or different a level of interesting, for the celestial like noble whatever warlock, right? There's like problems in there. There's a conflict in there. There's an issue. But if your character really fit into the sort of the absolutely, if your character fit into the class fantasy archetype of the radiant whatever, then I would absolutely give you the opportunity to participate in that like warlock or that like paladin cleric. You know, your knowledge of these things provides a great boon to the temple, and although you come at it from an irregular place, you're still a valued servant of the light or whatever. So that's the great thing about D&D, is that you can your class on paper does not necessarily directly define your class fantasy. It's a starting point, but it's not directly it, right? Sweaty wild magic barbarian synth. All right, sure. Yep. I don't mind. Hey, do what you need to. All right. You know, it is hard though sometimes, because like there are very different, class fantasies within even subclasses. And you're not going to hit 100% of the time. You're not going to, if I create my like class quests or whatever, my side quests, I'm not going to hit every single person. Today? We're drawing Endrick, Oda. I'm drawing my D&D character. I'm drawing the guild master right now. A big, hairy, sweaty man. The thing that I like the most in fantasy, Oda, Big, hairy, sweaty men with weapons. Doing big, hairy, sweaty men things. That's what I like. What's up, dude? Thank you for the 40 months. That is one of the longest subs active. You are one of the long. You have. Oh, I recently redid my sub badges. Not redid, did my sub badges, because for the longest time I had up until 1 year, and then I added in all the other cool sub badges. So you have a rare sub badge that I think I've only seen one other person with it since I updated my sub badges. So thanks, man. That means a lot that you're still supporting, even though you're off doing amazing things and crushing it and conquering the world and being a family man. I appreciate you stopping in. It really means the world to me, man. Thank you. Can't relate. Yep. Big hairy sweaty men doing big hairy sweaty man things. Nah, dude, I think that you're not gonna hit, like, when you try and do this like ambitious class fantasy thing, you're not gonna hit it with the 100% accuracy. But I think you're gonna, if you like make a net that catches a wide enough like your net can still catch like 80 or 90% of players if you have a strong class fantasy. You're gonna have the really weird click characters that don't really fit into any class fantasy and don't really have a home, and you kind of try and give them a home in another class fantasy or whatever, or archetype, but it might not always fit and it might be a little bit clunky. But that's the nature of you know, TTRPGs. It's not always directly super clean, I guess. And you just do your best. I think you do your best and you try and like I said, I don't know if people are going to hate this or not. It might be a feature that nobody chooses to engage with. Like, one thing I don't think people are going to engage with at all is like actually I know I'm making this and I don't think anyone's going to use it. In the Kickstarter adventure later on in the year, I'm going to have this whole like list of ideas for how someone can level up. Right? So like Underbelly, you know, Network, Fighters Guild, like Secret, Wizards, whatever. Just this whole list of things, of ideas, of stories that you can take your players on to give them their levels. Right? And I want to have like maybe a couple of different story ideas for each class. So like if you've got a rogue, maybe they are trained by a thieves guild, or maybe they get recruited by the spy network, the good guy spies, to sort of like be a double agent or whatever. But like, where does, because I always make my players find their levels for the most part. You don't just level up and just wake up one day and you look down at your pants and you lift them up the bed sheets and you're like, I'm level 4. That doesn't work in my games. I need you to have some sort of like actual event in game, whether it's big or small. It doesn't need to be some massive quest, but something that at least is, that's where you get your knowledge. Like, if you don't want to engage with this system, you don't like the side quest bullshit, you just want to like get your 4th level in Sorcerer, okay, the very least I'll say is, great, you go to the Wizard's Tower, you find some cool shit, and you find this like book that unlocks a certain, you know, understanding of power for you, and that's enough for you to take your 4th level in Sorcerer, right? But some people really like a quest where they go on this like big adventure to find each level. Ella loves that. Dashto loves that. Other players want it a little bit faster, a little bit more just kind of like, you know, less bespoke and more, let's get back to the action. And so I'm going to create little examples of ways you can do that for your players that fit within Eldara and Grand Crest. And I know nobody's going to use that, right? I know almost nobody's going to want to engage with that thing, but I'm still going to spend like 8, 9, 10 hours writing it, because I think that it's a useful tool, and maybe just perhaps one person's going to use it. And at the very least, I'll have it for myself, you know, which is still valuable to me, I think. A lot of this kind of stuff that I'm trying to build, I have to try to figure out, well, what's the most useful thing for the most amount of people versus what is the thing that I'm going to use in my game, you know? Making a Kensei monk that uses spears and jumps on their foes from the sky. You know, in VR chat, Ashy, my current VR chat model or avatar is Estinian. I'm a Stinian. I walk around as a Stinian. I don't care. I had this cat girl, anime cat girl, come up and start squeeing and fawning at Estidian, and she was disappointed to find out I was a dude, and I was like, oh yeah. She was like, oh my god, Estidian's my favorite. He's so handsome. He's the best. I think, you know, he's whatever he did in Endwalker or whatever. I wish they would have had him in this scene, but I understand he was off. And she like talked for like a good 45 seconds, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, I'm not that far in yet, but he seems like probably my favorite character so far as a Stormblood. You know, after Heaven's Ward. She was like, oh my god, you're a guy? And I was like, yeah. She's like, I don't usually find guys that are fans of Estinian. That's weird. I assumed you were another like Estinian fangirl. And she was like disappointed or whatever. It was weird, bro. I didn't know how to respond. I was like, all right, cool. See you later. See ya. Have a good day. I'm gonna go head out. That's what I'm gonna do. Never had someone so disappointed to find out I was a person of the same gender that my avatar was on VR chat. So as long as they're evocative, even if they don't land, others will be inspired, build them better. Yeah, true. Hopefully. You know, that makes more sense than a player just randomly using skills they didn't have the day before in battle. Well, I think it does, but a lot of people don't like having to actually do stuff. You know, that's the problem. You have, it's like everyone says it sounds like a fun idea until, you know, one person actually has to go in and actually find their class quest. Because like a lot of people, most players that I've ever played with find it a fun addition to the game. They don't find it to be taxing or annoying or whatever. They actually think it's a cool, like, even the anti-story Andes. I usually get them on my page when it comes to finding their class quest. They're usually more willing to like say like, okay, that was pretty cool, you know.
Have you
at
heard
the end
of
of it.
Evan the Scholar? He made us tools for free like a baller. He changed his mind and then in kind charged us all $1.
What did I charge you $1 for? What is even $1, man? You don't know? What is this? Dude, are you trying to get me canceled like Niji Sanji? Are you trying to sink the yacht? Are you trying to turn the Dragon's Claim against me? Is that what you're trying to do? You're trying to make me sound like a corporate thief? Just stealing the money of my my adoring fans? Both of them? Ella and Thorkin? That's it? Damn, bro. Alright, shit.
I don't understand half the language you just said.
Don't worry about it.
Is this like Riz or something?
It's like, yes. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Yeah. More or less. Yeah, you got me, Rock. Thanks for 200 bits, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, bro. Class quest, yeah. Most important part. By Azura. What? The Grand Champion? I would never. Okay? No, man, I think people usually are pretty cool with like the idea of trying to find their class story or whatever after they get a chance to. It's like I don't know. You have to read the player. Not every player wants to like have side quests or anything devoted just to them. A lot of people want to just sit back and just watch the D&D game happen around them. And there's kind of two types of passive players. Passive players that will sort of come out of their shell and do cool things when you prompt them. The problem is you have to grab them by the ear. You have to grab them by the ear and drag them out of their little D&D player shell, which is fine. We ear drag if we have to. But then there's the other players who are just kind of there for like the gameplay. They're there for they're like Dark Souls players that are tolerating your D&D game, you know. And at that point in time, you're just kind of doing them a favor by leaving them the fuck alone. And sometimes you miss the mark. Sometimes you like don't really offer a class quest to somebody, and later on they're like, "Hey man, I don't know. I was just really excited to." Oh fuck! Did my keyboard break? All right, guys, we're pausing the keyboard. I need to unplug my keyboard for 10 minutes and do nothing for a little bit. God damn it, man. I don't get this. I don't get what happens in this shit. I'm so tired of it too. I feel like I need a backup keyboard. The problem is I need to unplug it, turn it off, and leave it for 10 minutes. And then it resets. Whatever it is, it resets. It's so annoying, man. It's such a piss off. Time to talk about Estinian for 10 minutes? Yeah. Let's just talk about Estinian for 10 minutes and why he has... Is Estinian more popular or is Stancred?
Evan is having technical difficulties. For 10 minutes he will be Evangeline and thank Ella for bits. Stay tuned. Riz or some other cool word.
Alright, fine. I'll thank Ella for bits the next 10 minutes. Yep. I'll thank Ella for bits. I will. There you go. Fine. I'll thank for the next 10 minutes. I'll thank Ella for all the bits that she cheers. Thank you, Rock, for the 100 bits. I appreciate that, man. Very so kind of you. So anyone my custom keyboard? You do custom keyboards? That's dope, dude. I need a specific type of keyboard. I need a low profile keyboard. The one I use, because of how I have to sit at my desk, is I use this like low profile like Logitech keyboard. So I can't actually use like a lot of keyboards, right? Like a lot of keyboards that have normal keycaps and stuff. I can't, like, I don't know. It's like I have to, because my chair is lower than my desk, and so my hand has to like awkwardly like creep up over my chair because my tablet can't sit up on its own power, so, or like on its own strength or whatever, the arm. It can only like kind of whatever. So I have to like rest my elbow on my desk, which puts my hand like ergonomically lower than my keyboard. So I want it as low as possible. It's a whole fucking thing. Dude, I'm mad. I'm just mad. I'm just mad. That's it. Steal my keyboard? No, because then I have to unplug it and do all sorts of shit. I have to find your dongle. It's a whole thing. It's fine. It'll fix itself in the next couple minutes. Also, I'm not going over your desk. It is an absolute rat's nest over there. What you guys don't realize is there is a pile of filth on Ella's desk. Ella is the like beautiful mind genius type person, where she's like this very high functioning, intelligent, super genius engineer, software engineer, artist, creative. Like she's the most impressive person I've ever met, besides my friend Vishal, who became a brain surgeon. I'm sorry, Ella. But she's the most impressive person I've ever met in my life. But because of that, the faculties for organization is just not there. I have to be her organization in life. This is how we complement each other, right? In some ways. So Ella, past her chair, like right in behind her chair is this pile of filth that I always just like, and like it's not very well piled up. There's some filth on her desk right now, just bullshit. But I usually take all of her filth and put it in her filth pile, so the chair is blocking it, so you guys don't have to see it in my background. You know, it's pretty bad. There's like Yuna's eardrops and Yuna's toy, and my desk is pretty bad right now as well. But I don't want to go over there, because if I go over to Ella's desk, I'm afraid I'm gonna like, I don't know, like grab something and like a little robotic arm's gonna come out like the fucking droid thing from Jabba's palace and start mocking me or something, you know? So like some Fire Emblem or from Skyrim or from, wait, from what? Shit. Were we talking about Azura? Wait, shit. A LP split isn't possible. What does that mean? What does that mean? Or an IP split? I don't know. What we're talking about, Blair. I'm not a keyboard wizard. I'm not the guy. Mad at what? Nick, I'm just mad at everything in life. I'm mad at my keyboard right now. My keyboard broke, so I need to wait for 10 minutes. But it's going well. How you doing, Nick? What's up, buddy? We're talking about the adventure all day, bro. We need the insights. I'm an archaeologist, so I mean, I'm pretty amazing too. That's pretty amazing, I will say. Archaeology is very impressive. I feel like I'm a bit of an amateur archaeologist. Fuck. I'm an amateur archaeologist. I did read a Randall Carlson book once about geology, and now I think that I'm basically, you know, a Graham Hancock level archaeologist. So whatever that means. But I guess you're impressive too. I guess it's pretty impressive to be an actual archaeologist. Elit's pile for filth. I bet she still knows where everything is. She does, for the most part. Like, she is very much like my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law once described to me as she likes to have her stuff in piles, but she knows where the stuff is in the piles. I don't know if she's still like that. But she was the first person that I really met with that like ADHD, like cluttered disorganization kind of gene or whatever. And Ella's just like that. The fuck? Yeah, whatever. Anyway. Ella's like that. She has stuff in piles. The problem is sometimes she doesn't know where it is actually. She'll be like, Evan, I lost my keys. I'm like, where'd you put them? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. What pile of filth did you put them in? She's like, I don't remember. And she'll freak out because she can't find her keys for like 20 minutes. And I never freak out whenever she's lost something important. Her phone, keys, wallet, whatever. I never actually like she'll get really upset because you lose your keys, right? And I'm always just like, she'll probably find it. It's probably under her fucking car seat or like in the hood of her hoodie or some shit. Man, I swear. Genius comes with some prices. Now, me on the other hand, I am deeply organized to like just a obnoxious OCD level. You know, I need to have all my things like lined up and whatever in front of me. Low profile, it's a split. Oh, I see. Can you make a custom low profile keyboard? Really? Is that doable? Never look at my Pal World base. It's the definition of piles. I want to see you play like a 100-hour Minecraft game, Ashy. I want to see you and Ulner play 100 hours of Minecraft, and I want to see what kind of filth you make your base into. You know, past all of like the dual arenas and the giant like, you know, I don't know, dick trees and whatever dumb memes you guys do. I want to see how disorganized and cluttered the piles of filth that make up your chest room would be. Because I'm not fun to play Minecraft with. I label my organization system like, I don't know, like I'm trying to sell it off for an IPO or some shit. Like I'm about to get audited by the fucking IRS. That's like I'm not fun to play with. I'll like, my idea of like a fun night is to clean our Minecraft base and organize our chests. And people are like, let's go kill a dragon. I'm like, no, dude, let's organize our stone chests. You know, so disorganized clutter where I know where everything is real. If I don't put thing in its usual spot, I lose it for like 20 plus minutes. I get it, dude. It's for some people. It's normal. You know, it's a thing. It's an important thing. Holy shit, yo, World Anvil, yo, what is up, guys? Good to see y'all. Taylor, second half. What's going on, guys? Good to see you all. Welcome in, my friends. Welcome in. Good to have you. Honored to have you, even as always. The forges are well lit. Y'all be proud of me, actually. I wrote 30 articles. Dude, Samurai, thank you for the 30 months, bro. Thank you for 30 months, man. I appreciate that. Y'all be proud of me. I wrote 30 articles on my break. I wrote 30 individual articles. I don't know how many words that was, but it was a lot. And that's considering I just draw pictures of dragons and stuff and memes. You know, me actually getting my World Anvil built out for. I'm trying to get. So what I'm trying to do. First of all, okay, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. I'm always honored when you guys stop by. If any of you who are new to my stream, because there's a couple people in here that are new, if y'all are unaware as to World Anvil, please do yourself a favor and go over and drop a follow on the World Anvil Twitch channel. They are one of my favorite places to be on Twitch. Some of my favorite people I see in that chat often. The place to be for world building on Twitch. The formative tool for all grand world builders, and just an obnoxiously kind group of individuals. It's just like, stop. Y'all being too supportive sometimes. I love World Anvil. Y'all know that. So if you guys are new here in my chat and you don't know who World Anvil is, please go drop a follow. Everyone from World Anvil, welcome. If you're new here, I'm Evan. I draw things for my D&D world, and I make cool stuff, hopefully. I don't know. I'm currently not making any cool stuff for the next 5 minutes because my keyboard broke. And once a week, we do this game I like to call unplug and turn off your keyboard for 10 minutes. And then it resets. I don't know why it fixes it, but it fixes it. So we're currently on minute like 6. So we're just chilling for a few. But I make art and world building for my campaign setting for my D&D adventure called Realms of Eldara. And we've got the first adventure is coming out soon. So that's one of the things I was doing all my World Anvil writing for, because I want to create this whole like index for people who are running adventure in Horizon to have like a proper organized World Anvil entry for every NPC, every concept. Even like I've given myself permission to write 2-paragraph World Anvil articles, right? When I have something that requires a little more context that I want to add in later, I'll like make an article for it for like a kingdom that I reference or whatever, another article, and I'll give myself like a little couple sentences for a placeholder. And then it's been kind of liberating, not feel like I need to make every World Anvil article like full of art and whatever else, and you know, to kind of use it as that index for myself. So y'all be proud of me, man. I'm actually getting my writing done. But yes, that's what we were doing. Stop. No, you're no. I will never stop. I've never listen. I've never met a more supportive group of like the World Anvil Discord is super nice and supportive. Everybody's just like, you know, it's fun. There are very few spaces where everybody's legitimately excited about everyone else's creations. Like you get that a little bit off in like art communities here and there, but there's also like this weird like competitiveness that comes in like a lot of art communities. You know, not mine, of course, but you know, in different places. But like World Anvil, the Discord's so cool because it's like everyone's just like really excited for everyone else's projects, and that's like, I think that's a really cool thing. You know, I hope to emulate that kind of level of supportiveness in my own little guild corner of Twitch. So y'all are inspirational, man. Turn off and on again, classic. It is. That's what I did. Like that's all. I don't know. You have to turn it off. So I have to turn it off and unplug it. All right, and unplug the little wireless dongle thingy. I have to do both of those for 10 minutes, because what happens is my key bindings all like mess up and they all like change, and I have no idea how to change them back. And I've tried this, I've looked it up, I've done everything, and nothing seems to work except for turning it off for 10 minutes, which is, you know, it's fine when I'm working on my own, when I'm just like doing project work or whatever, because I'll just like go get up and like go, I don't know, fight my dog for like 10 minutes or whatever. You know, she loves that shit. And it's not a big deal. But when you're like in the middle of stream and you're like in the middle of something that you're drawing or whatever, or like art you're making or something on Photoshop, it's like, okay, we'll just chill for a bit. We'll just hang out, man. It'll be a thing. No, Nick, the keyboard is not working, unfortunately. That's why I was full screen, because I had to chill for a little bit. So I'll try it in a couple minutes. I'll plug it back in and we'll see if it works. But it's like if you plug it in before it's like ready. Okay, this is like some gremlin shit. If you plug it in before it's ready, then you have to like restart the timer again. You have to do it for like another 10 minutes. You know, it's so annoying, man. So we'll give it another couple minutes and then it should be fine. So I don't know. How about a second keyboard for quick switching? I used to have 2 keyboards at my desk for that. I had a keyboard for Photoshop and my tablet and streaming, and I had my other gaming keyboard. But I got this wireless one that I can move around for whatever projects I'm doing, and it's low profile, which is the most important thing for me, right? Because like I have poor ergonomics on my keyboard when I'm streaming. Normally my chair is like about like 5 inches higher at my desk, so if I were to like sit at my desk properly, you know, my webcam wouldn't be centered forward or anything. When I'm drawing, I want to have my elbow resting on my desk, and I want to have like my tablet in front of me, right? Like, yeah, if you're a proper artist form, you shouldn't have your elbow resting. Proper artist form is you should be out to the side, you know, whatever, but leave me alone. All right, I'll do my best. So I want my elbow resting on the desk while I'm drawing, and my tablet can't be hot. Like, it's not, it can't support itself at a higher like level. So I need to be lower then, right? So I lower my chair below my desk. So my keyboard is like up here when I'm trying to type when I'm streaming. And I need a low profile keyboard for that. And so I could get a second one of these, but that's expensive, dude. That's a lot, man. I don't know. This is a big boy keyboard purchase for me. So maybe that's a stream expense at some point in time if this keeps happening. Or maybe I just take this like back for warranty. I could do that as well. The place I bought it has a really good warranty return thing. It's this local store in Western Canada that actually has a great return warranty for computer parts, if you can believe it. You know, that's why I used to buy a lot of Razer products, because like Razer products had a lifespan on them. They always died after like, you know, couple weeks, couple months or whatever. But it's fine if you had a free replacement on them, then it wasn't a big deal. You didn't have to worry about it being good quality. So that's why I used to buy a lot of those things. Now I'm in the Logitech ecosystem, so hopefully it figures itself out at some point in time with like an update or some shit, because this is annoying. It happens like once a week during stream, and then like once a weekend when I'm not streaming, which is, I don't know. You got a gaming keyboard. This is a gaming keyboard. It's an RGB gaming keyboard. Logitech wireless G15 RGB mechanical gaming. It says, dude, it says mechanical gaming keyboard on it. I didn't think it would actually say gaming keyboard. It says G15 wireless tactile. Ooh. RGB mechanical gaming keyboard. So there you go. It's a keyboard for gamers. Now I can play League of Legends or Apex or Tetris or whatever. I don't know. My expensive Nari Ultimate headset died the day after the extended warranty expired. Oh god, that happened with me with some RAM. I had RAM that like burnt out or whatever, or corrupted or some shit. I took it back in for like the warranty, and I'd only got the 3-year warranty on it. And my friend works at the store, right? Which is one of the reasons why I get good deals and stuff, because he gives me this employee discount and shit. And he's like, "So the warranty you got expired," and I was like, "Oh, when?" He said, "Monday." And it was Wednesday, and I was like, "It expired 2 days ago." 3 years and 2 days from the date I bought it is when it died. Oh my god. So yeah, I feel that. It is tactile for sure. It is tacky whenever you have an RGB mechanical gaming keyboard, but you know, I got it. If I don't have RGB, I can't see where I'm going. You know, that's an important part of it. I got it probably earlier on this year. It's less than a year old, Nick. That's the disappointing part about it. I don't know if it's a problem with the keyboard or if it's just an issue with I don't know, software or something. All right, I'm gonna try it out. I'm plugging it back in. I'm plug it in. We're gonna try it. We're gonna hope for the best. It's plugged in. All right, we're turning on. Okay. All right. Does it work? Try and deselect. No, it's dead. Doesn't work yet. God damn it. All right, I'm using Ella's keyboard. Fuck it. I'm using her keyboard. I'm doing it. I'm switch. I'm using her keyboard. Where is it? Where is it? Where'd you plug it in? Where's your keyboard? Where it at? I'm gonna throw this piece out. It's going. Conveniently, she has the exact same keyboard as me. So I can use it. I just need to find wherever the dongle is that plugged it in. Or maybe I can plug it in. Ooh, hold on. Hold on. Let me try plugging it in with the cord. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. We've stolen Ella's keyboard. I'm a keyboard bandit at this point. Does it work? I try and deselect. Okay, it worked. It worked, but it worked, however, something else just happened, and I don't know why. I don't know why, okay? Let me just hold up. Oh my god, that's so big. I don't know why, but this is my window. This is Photoshop. I don't know why, but the color, the background of my Photoshop went one shade lighter when I plugged in Ella's keyboard. Somehow, the keyboard gremlins got in and changed the shade of dark mode that I have Photoshop in. And oh my god, that's awful. Oh, who would use Photoshop in light mode? And I don't know, man. Okay, all right. Well, we're back. All right, we're back. This is a project for today. We were drawing Endrick. We're drawing the Guildmaster. So, It's my paladin, guys. I get to build a paladin. Nobody's told me how to make a powerful 50 ed paladin yet without multi-classing into fighter. So. Oh, God. Okay. I swear, man, this PC. I'm going to throw it out the window one of these days. Why does keyboard control the shade of the software? Jacob, I wish I knew. I wish I knew. This is some shit here for me. All right, got a Tolkien Dwarf script keyboard and a full set of Elven script keycaps. Last time I looked for keyboards, those shops are dangerous for low impulse control. Dude, why did my light just turn off? What the fuck? What is? Okay, wait, dude, what is that? What is happening today with my computer? That sounds dope. I need one of the. I need dwarven keycaps for. I don't know if you can find low profile custom keycaps, but getting dwarven keycaps would be fucking sick. Sorry, I have too many checkboxes on haunting computer, the deep chaos magic. I don't know what I did though. Like what did I do to earn the ire of whatever being I insulted or offended? Is this some like? Is this because I didn't play Baldur's Gate on honor mode? Is this some Revenge of Raphael or whatever? You're messing with the occult? Yeah, that actually is. Like, hold on, your light's turning off and on. That's some actual shit, isn't it? Probably reloading the settings based on the new keyboard detected and the default is a shade lighter. You're probably right about that. I don't know. But, like, here's the thing, though. That her keyboard right now that I plugged in has synced to my lighting settings. Weirdly. It synchronized the lighting to my settings that I had exist on my computer. So so nothing synchronized from the keyboard to the computer. I don't know. You know what? Hey, look, I can use the keyboard. Look, I got Photoshop open. That's good enough for me. Anyway, paladins. You have a cat sitting on the old keyboard at the same time now? No, I wish. That would explain it. That would explain maybe the hauntings a little bit better. I haven't touched. That's what happened. I didn't do anything, Knight. What do you mean? Anyway, here's my paladin. I'm gonna make a World Anvil article about him. This is gonna be the biggest, longest World Anvil article I've ever written. Why? Because this is my character. Normally, I don't actually do a lot of like long articles for characters for NPCs. It's more about like places and things and shit like that. But Endrick's going to have the longest singular character article I'll ever write. Because I want him to have... Here's the challenge. I want him to have an ultimately interesting story that doesn't matter. Right? He's supposed to be a former hero of the land. He's done his adventure. But, like, his current exploits are supposed to not really impact the current story. So, it's kind of a challenge, man. Is the cleric player sending that karma? Is this finally my... Is this my retribution? From all the shit I talk about cleric players... Has a cleric player finally discovered my secrets? 1 second, let me hack the ghost out of my mainframe. Here, let me hack the ghost out of the server. Okay. Here, I've entered into the mainframe backdoor sub-alignment unit text key box frame thread pool. Okay, I'm rerouting the ocular alignment tools synchronization USB modularity PCI inductor. We're going to activate the backup encabulation retrograde device management software guidelines. Okay, we're entering into the new group formatting. There you are. I see you. I see it. I see the ghost. Counter hacking the install base frame relay structure, entering exorcism command tool route gate, stabilizing graph mainframe unit matrices, and there we go. There we go. We've done it. All right. There you go. I got it. I got it out. I got it. I performed an exorcism. I did it. I like to think that whenever I do that, one of the software engineers in chat just gets like a twitch for the day. Like they just like, you know. Yeah, I deserve that. All right, we got it, guys. Don't worry about it. We performed the proper mainframe exorcism for today. And I choked on my drink. I deserve that entirely. Okay. All right, we're good. We're good. The keyboard driver on your computer do that? Maybe. Maybe that's where the ghost was, but I isolated it and performed a root extraction exorcism kit on it. So, there you go, Bizzo. We're good. Logitech G Gaming Max Super Ultra, whatever it is called, auto syncing because of the same model. Yeah, crazy how that works. Crazy how the exact same keyboard will sync. I thought it might not. I thought it might have some of the settings built in the keyboard. It would, like, I don't know, detect it as a different device. I guess not. Okay, look, I'm not that smart. My wife's a software engineer. I'm the mediocre writer and even mediocre artist. Don't expect too much from me when it comes to my computer. Okay, I don't actually build my PCs anymore. Ella builds them for me. She thought it would be very important as a software engineer programmer to know the hardware aspects of her computer too. So she learned how to build PCs a couple years back to a very high degree. Okay, now I have hiccups. What the fuck? Now it's a haunting today, man. Okay, we're good. We're good. The Paladin will turn Oathbreaker before the end of the curse. Already looking really awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you like it. Hopefully, wait, I don't have a full view. I just have the half view. I forgot. Hold on. I messed this up. When I'm doing characters, I usually like to have a like a larger version of it as well on the side that we can mess with, so we know where we're at in the project at all times. There we go. Okay, we're good now. This is all revenge from me talking shit about 5th Ed players earlier, isn't it? Wizards of the Coast like got a voodoo doll or something. It has performed retribution on me. Chris Perkins, personally, like accuse us of not having class fantasy my ass. How about no? I really am excited though to get a chance to play to play this character in a game though. I want to, like, I don't know, I want to like run a campaign, like a prequel campaign. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. You guys have to excuse my hiccups. I want to run like a prequel campaign and have like Endrick and Alera as like playable characters in it, you know? Or like, I don't know, maybe NPC dialogue options or whatever. Dude, what is this series of events that's led to me having hiccups now? Computer got haunted. So I got frustrated and started ranting. Ranted so hard that I choked my water. Choking my water caused me to cough, which caused me to get hiccups. This is like, I don't know. If somebody wanted to tell me this was like a divine sign from like a Norse god or whatever, I believe him at this point, so. Root extinction, dentist vocabulary. No, it's perfect software engineering vocabulary. I've learned a lot about how to speak software engineer jargon. You know, my goal is to one day become a cybersecurity expert, to become a consultant. which from what I understand, cybersecurity consultants, all they do is they go to big corporations, they use a bunch of cybersecurity tech jargon to sound like they know what they're talking about. Then they make up a threat or a problem that doesn't actually exist for the company. Then they tell them that there's another tool that they can buy from somebody else, and they get a fee from like a consultation like fee. That's what I'm practicing for ultimately. That's how I'm gonna make my millions. Listen, my project isn't gonna fund itself. You think I'm gonna get the first adventure done by a Kickstarter? How are we gonna get Danny DeVito to voice a character intro via Kickstarter? I'm gonna have to come up with that capital on my own. What, you think Cobalt's gonna single-handedly fund it? Yeah, right. If you surrender your faith and join the dark gods, the curse may be ended, not a threat, totally your choice. Surrender to the dark gods. Well, here's the thing. I just finished Baldur's Gate 3. So, I know what that looks like. All right. And if it's anything like it is in the game, I'm down. I think it's the proper way to do it. Yep. I'll become a priestess of Shar. I don't mind. I'll do it. I'll kill the Night Song. Don't think I won't. As someone who's still working on the rough side of learning art, how do you develop your self-critical eye to better improve while not preventing celebrating success/improvement? Oh my god. I'm gonna give you an unpopular answer, entities. I'm gonna give you an unpopular answer, okay? Because it's what works for me. So I think that if you were to ask that question to somebody who's like an art educator or somebody who's like an art education communicator or whatever, like you think of like the Sialessas, the Mark Burnett's, the Dave Greco's, the Adam Duff's, geez, I almost forgot Adam Duff's name, of the world, they will tell you things like you have to be compassionate to yourself, you have to be able to sort of develop a comparative sort of eye to like to your fundamentals. You can trust in your fundamentals, you can trust in your education, you can keep working on it, understand you can always improve. There's like ways that you can do this to not avoid a toxic sort of self-defeating like you said, preventing of success/improvement. I don't quite have a very healthy way of doing it, but I'll tell you what works for me. I trust in fundamentals and discipline, and I don't celebrate my success and improvement very often, and it sucks. It sucks, and I get demotivated all the time, because that's what you run the risk of. When you don't celebrate your successes and your improvements, you risk being demotivated. Now, for me, my solution to that is not necessarily super healthy, but maybe it is, I don't know. I don't rely on motivation. I don't rely on being demotivated, or being demotivated and not feeling like I'm making an improvement or a success or whatever doesn't impact what I do. Because all the great artists that I've ever talked to, spoken to, worked with, worked under, whatever, they all execute discipline more than rely on motivation. If that makes sense. I find there's this like very interesting conversation among artists online about like being kind to yourself, being compassionate, being nice, all these things, like important stuff for like the mental health aspect of being an artist. But every artist that I've ever met that does art at a very high level doesn't really think about that kind of stuff. You know, they don't necessarily love or hate their work. They don't have to love or hate their work. They just they do their work. They improve. It's like you trust the process. You study your fundamentals, execute on them, make a piece of art, refer to your fundamentals, understand what you did wrong, try and keep it in your mind for the next time. And you don't really often get a chance to celebrate your successes when you do that. But you sort of don't need to. when you're gonna go when you believe in the end goal being so important that you don't require yourself to feel good about the process, right? All these artists that I've met have had that quality in common, where you talk about you're like, oh, how do you like, you know, how do you deal with the mental health aspect of art? And they're like, I don't know, I just make art. Who cares if I'm feeling sad or bad about myself that day? Like I just make my art. He's like, yeah, you think I feel like a good artist? No, I don't. I feel like I'm a trash artist, but I still get put in the work every single day, you know? Thank you, Adir Stone, for the follow. I appreciate that. So I don't have a very good way of doing this and managing this. This isn't for everybody, right? Especially people who aren't like trying to make a life out of their art, don't necessarily have the stamina or the like mental, I don't know, not a good word for the ability to just abuse themselves constantly. You want to try and obviously find like to take the meme away, you want to try and find a healthy relationship with your art and with your progress, but sometimes you don't have it, and it's important to not rely on it, if that makes sense. It's important to rely on doing what you need to do to improve and knowing the process, regardless of if you feel good about the process or not. Because being critical, if being critical makes you feel demotivated, like, oh, I'm not improving and whatnot, and you're only ever critical, not celebrating your successes, it's like, yeah, that can stop you, but it's also something that's going to happen from time to time. You're not going to always feel good about your art. You're not going to always feel good about your successes. You're not going to feel like you've accomplished anything. Like this painting, when I finished it, all right, when I finished this painting, I sat there for like 5 minutes staring at my fucking keyboard on the verge of tears, because it's not where I should be. I'm super happy people like this painting, and it is my first environment painting in years. This is the first run, like, step back on the horse for me for environment painting. But I think it's trash. I think it's dog shit. I think it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, you know? I think this painting is embarrassment to me. But like, I understand that's part of the process, and it's not going to stop me or interrupt my what I'm doing. Because I'm trying not to look at making the painting as something that I'm supposed to be happy with. What I'm supposed to do is improve and be critical and look at it and do it again. And again, that doesn't work for every artist. That like kills a lot of artists' ability to create. So for me, to answer your question, I don't necessarily worry about when my self-criticism interrupts my feelings of success, because it doesn't change what I'm going to do. Because I'm never gonna necessarily, I don't have a very healthy relationship with my art, if that makes sense. I don't feel good about it. I occasionally do a piece and I'm like, wow, I've really improved. But that's rare. It's like actually pretty rare when I think like this is a good piece of art. So I think that the general advice then is to try and maintain a healthy balance and understanding with what you're doing. Is even if you're unhappy with the work, be critical, very critical. You're not going to improve if you're not very critical. I err on the side of more critical than you need to be, harsher than you should be, harsher than the people on Twitter who tell you to feel good about your art and smile and be happy and take care of your mental. Be harsher on yourself than they. If you really want to improve and be great at what you do, be harsher than anyone's going to tell you is okay. But be okay in the process of not being proud of your work. If you believe in the end result, that's what I would do. But I'm not the greatest example here, and I'm not necessarily a model to follow, and I don't think I can really give great advice on this. All the greatest artists that I've met have a pretty bad relationship with their art until they hit a certain point where they can kind of breathe. And you don't know you're at that point until you've been at that point for a while, you know, which is kind of unfortunate. So I'm just kind of trying to wait to get there, to be happy with my work, and not allow myself, when I am overly critical and demotivated because of that, to impact what I'm doing next. So I don't know. It's a bit of a cop-out answer, but that's you know, I think I would definitely look at like Adam Duff's stuff if you're trying to worry about that kind of how to do that properly. I would point you in that direction.
Stop memeing
you know,
for 1 second to say
that's where I would go. So
art is interpretive. I interpret this art as beautiful and serene.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you like it. But I look at it and I think this. Oh my god. You know, I look at this next to the painters that I want to be like in my lifetime, and I'm like, I'm never gonna be like them. You know, I'm never gonna achieve what I want to achieve if I can't figure out how to be better. And I think that it's a problem because like the issue is here, the real issue is that a lot of artists, if you're too kind on yourself, you risk mediocrity.
Is the thief of joy.
The thing is, it is, and I agree, but like also coping is the thief of greatness. You know? And that's the problem, man. It's like a really harsh reality. I don't know any artist that is a generational talent that isn't really hard on themselves. And I see a lot of people that are like, oh, just forgive yourself, you know, enjoy the process, whatever. They say the things that you want to hear. Give yourself a break, relax. Like, don't be cruel to yourself, obviously. But I think there's nothing wrong with being very hard on yourself if you know what you want to achieve. It's like, imagine you're like a hockey player and you know that you're not good enough to make it to the NHL. It's like, okay, well, you can be kind to yourself and just like give, like, it's fine. Like, hey man, you don't have to try as hard, but you just won't get to the NHL. You look at the guy that like gets to the NHL and he's on the ice 8 hours a day and you're on the ice 3 hours a day. And it's like, okay, well, is it worth it? The sacrifice, the misery, everything to be there? Like, maybe, I don't know. It's your choice, right? But like, I am scared of the toxic other side of this problem. This is why I err on the side of unhealthy in this direction, because tipping on the unhealthy side of direction of being too hard on my work has produced results that I feel satisfied with. Being generous and kind to myself and taking care of myself and all these things has caused me to waste time and feel mediocre. And at the end of the day, I'd much rather feel fulfilled than proud of every piece, than happy with every piece, than like everything I do is this lovely little rainbow and I should be proud of my progress and I should be happy with my whatever. You know, because I know that I am the type of person that I will give myself that victim card and allow myself to play it way too hard. The second I give myself permission to like love my art and feel whatever and like, you know, take my time and work at my own pace and do these things and like follow a lot of the good advice that a lot of artists need to hear, I will take it too far. And I will fall down a pit that I don't want to be in of just like failure, right? So I maintain a fairly difficult relationship with my art. And I just make sure that there's a certain structure of discipline in there that it doesn't matter when I feel good or bad about my art, I will still do the same thing. So it's like, how do you avoid losing motivation? I don't try to avoid losing motivation. Because to me, motivation is not something you can count on. Motivation comes and goes. Motivation's lovely when it's here. When you feel motivated to work in the morning, beautiful. When you feel motivated to go to the gym, amazing. When you feel motivated to shovel your sidewalk or take your dog for a walk, great. But like, I've had a really shit hand dealt to me in a couple of ways in life, and I understand that like the bank doesn't care about when I'm motivated to work or not. I got bills. So it's like, you got to get the work done or you don't, you know? My health didn't care if I was motivated to change it. It started to fail me, so that's why I started to lose weight and get healthy. You know, and so it doesn't matter if I'm motivated in the morning to go to the gym. I'll go to the fucking gym because it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if I feel motivated or demotivated by my art progress. I will still do the same things that I need to do, and I don't have that like I don't have a good I don't know like I don't have a good grasp on how to like manage that relationship, and I wish I did, you know. I wish I had something that could be useful. Like, I think that it's important to be able to try and provide like useful feedback for other artists and help them through things that maybe I've gotten through or whatever. But I don't really have a great, like a very easy piece of advice for that, you know. I don't know how a lot of like maybe a lot of creatives feel the same way, or maybe it's pretty unique. I don't know, man. I'd say just try and always be you have to trust yourself. You have to believe in yourself. And as soon as you trust and believe in yourself, it doesn't matter how critical you are, you won't lose motivation, I think. I think that's like a really important part of it. If you believe that you are capable of achieving what you want to achieve, it doesn't matter how critical you'll be, right? Because you know that like you can shit on your work all you want and be as critical as you need to be and find every flaw and every little problem with it and not really focus on the good things you do, because you know you're going to get there. But if you don't believe in that intrinsically, then maybe that kind of criticism that you level at yourself or somebody else levels at you will destroy your will, because you'll be like, oh well, clearly I can never do it because, you know, clearly this piece is shit, so I can never do it, right? So I don't know, man. You draw us cat girls, my dude. I haven't drawn a cat girl in like 2 years, man. What are you talking about? Another world record wherever happy. Wait, were we happy with the current score before it? Yeah, that's. Yeah, I guess it depends on what you're trying to get out of your art. You know, that's like a big problem with it. Is I never every like general advice to artists is like actually like really hard to do. And I see a lot of like these streamers or YouTubers or whatever giving general art advice, and I always think to myself like, I wonder if that's like useful. Because a lot of the times it's like not useful for like my experience, and like my experience isn't very useful to other people's experience, and maybe it is. Maybe I'm just underestimating it. But I would just say be as critical as you need to be, not as you want to be, not as you can be without losing motivation. Be as critical as you need to be to improve. You know what you need to do. You know what you need to do to improve, or how critical you need to be to get better or whatever. And my best improvements come when I'm really brutally honest with that criticism. But God, it hurts, man. It is hard. Being a good artist or being great at art is not actually a technical skill you develop. It's a mental skill you develop, I think. If every artist could just grind 8 hours a day nonstop on their fundamentals and performing their studies and whatnot, they would all be, we'd all have this generation of absolute virtuosos, but we don't, because it's fucking impossible sometimes, for some people anyway, to be that hard on yourself constantly for such a long period of time. But I don't know, man. I don't know any other way. And the artists that I talk to, that I look up to, don't seem to know any other way either. But they at a certain point in time, you become good enough that you look back on your work and you like take a breath and you're like, oh, okay, I'm safe. I think it's like when you can either start like making a living or whatever, like whatever your like metric of like, do I pay my monthly bills with my art? Do I whatever with my art? That seems to be when a lot of artists like look back on their success and stop the toxic sort of criticism, if you want to like label it as that, and are able to kind of breathe a little bit. So getting to and staying at a professional level as an artist requires pushing through a lot of mental muck, which sucks, but hey, we out here. Yeah, it is. It's tough, man. It's rough. Like I'm also talking about this from the experience of losing the battle. Like I lost the battle. I didn't do this right my entire, like I'm trying to do it right now, but I lost the battle for years. When I was 23, I graduated from, or 22, I graduated from art school. I decided to not pursue my dream of going into the games industry and being a concept artist, because graphic design, because I had kind of a graphic design element. My degree was like 3/4 character design and concept art, and like 1/4 graphic design. But the graphic design, the concept art that I wanted to do required me to go move away from Ella, which I wasn't going to do, and not make any money for a long time. And the graphic design was too appealing because it was safe. With the graphic design job, I still enjoyed it a little bit, but I had made money for Ella and I to start a life. We could get married. We could go on some trips and go see the world as like two dumb young 20-somethings, which is, I think, more valuable. Like when I'm 90, I will not regret starting my career late. I will be happy I went and saw the world as a 22-year-old with Ella. So it provided me stability, it provided me, you know, all that kind of stuff. But it kind of killed me. And I realized that I was like 26, 27, and I hadn't tried for my dream. And something died inside of me. I became very depressed, very, very unhappy for many years, for years. I completely failed. And then I didn't want to work on my art because I was like, oh my God, I haven't done anything for, 4 years from 22, and now I'm 26, and then my dream is dead. and it's over, and oh my god, I just completely, like, I stopped this is what I want to do my entire life, is be an artist, and I completely let it go for financial security and stuff like that. I traded my soul for financial security, and it made me want to fucking die. And so that put me into an even worse depression, because it's like now I'm really fucked, because now I'm in my 20s and oh my god, I'm so behind. So I lost the battle against that, right? And then when I was about to hit 30, that's when I said, okay, I'm gonna quit my graphic design shit, give up all my clients, give up all my stuff, stop doing all that kind of stuff, stop trying to be a graphic designer, stop being comforted by stability. Now I'm gonna go try and do this again. And that's when I started my project. That's when I started streaming, is because streaming was going to be me streaming the process of me trying to get back to being an artist. And then eventually, I envisioned one day would be my last stream. I looked forward to my last stream when I first started streaming. I looked forward to it because I thought to myself, I'm going to get good enough until one day I can get a job at a video game studio that I want to be at. Elle and I will move wherever that is, and I'm going to finally secure my dream of being an artist in the games industry. And that day kind of came and then passed, and I realized I didn't want it. I realized that I got to a point where somebody at a game studio said, dude, you're actually pretty good now. Like, if you want to come work with us, like, you probably could. If you wanted to submit a portfolio and, like, apply. And I was like, this is it. This is what I wanted, man. This is what I worked for. But everything I had done to get there, from that time when I decided I was going to try again at, like, being an artist, and to that point where I got kind of like to my goal, I realized that the thing that I built in between there, the world, the project, everything that I've done here on Twitch, Print Store, Patreon, everything that I've done for myself, I kind of care about more, you know? And so that's why I'm still doing this, even though it's like, you know, I don't make anywhere near the money that I could at a stable job at a game company, even as a junior artist or whatever, right? It's spotty, it's whatever, it's more hours, it's stressful, it's all these things. But it matters more to me, because this is now my dream is to do this and to because I always wanted to build my Star Wars. I didn't think it was ever possible. I thought the best I could ever achieve was working in a game company on somebody else's Star Wars. But then when I started doing Eldar and doing this, I was like, wait a minute, maybe I can't just shoot for my kind of mid dream. Maybe I can shoot for my big dream, and that's what I'm doing. So to do that, though, I have to have this relationship with my art and improvement that doesn't necessarily bode well for, like, a mental state that is very healthy for a lot of artists. But I know what it's like to lose the battle. I've lost the battle. I know how hard it is. I don't judge any artist for needing to protect their mental health and protect their relationship with their art, because I understand. You get shitty enough of your art, you see no progress, you get burnt out, and then you stop making art forever. You need to protect yourself against that. But you can protect yourself via never getting so demotivated that you want to quit, or you can protect yourself by building systems that don't let you quit. And for me, that's what I did. And I don't know if that's the best advice for other artists, but it's what I do. And maybe it's like, I'm sure that, like, even if, like, people that I look up to, like the Adam Duffs of the world, heard me say that, they would probably say, this artist is completely wrong, completely whack, don't listen to him. But, like, it's what I gotta do, man. To get where I need to be and to get out of that dark place of feeling like an absolute failure, it's what I had to do. It's the battle I had to wage, and it's working for me so far. But, like, I understand, that's why I don't recommend, like, other people. So I'm not like some hard ass for other people in their journeys, where I'm like, oh, if you aren't, like, suffering and you don't hate your art and you're not burnt out and anxious and whatever all the time, you ain't working hard enough. But nah, man, you just gotta do what's good for you. You gotta figure out what the balance is for yourself, so you don't burn out to the point where you're not gonna do it anymore. I don't know. Don't listen to me, man. I'm just some fucking nerd on the internet. I'm sure there's other artists that have real opinions on it, that have some sort of, you know, reasonable take. I do think that there is a good market in being an art influencer that basically offers you forgiveness for not trying hard, and some people kind of exploit that, right? The, like, serial, like, mental heart health, like, tweeters or whatever in the art community. Some of them are exploitative, not all, but some of them are. where you're just trying to like, where people are just desperately looking for permission to not try. You're like, man, I just want to play Genshin today. I don't want to actually try out my art, but I feel really guilty about it. So then you go on Twitter and you find someone who's just like, hey man, you don't have to try today if you're not feeling like it. And you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to take a mental health day. It's like, bro, you've taken a mental health year. You've taken a mental health decade. Like, good for you, but it's time for you to get back on the fucking horse and have something else other than your motivation and whims carry you. Because my motivation and whims will turn me into a fucking degenerate. If I listen to what I want in any given moment, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to sit around and play World of Warcraft. I'm going to play a video game. I'm going to eat some snacks. That's what I'm going to do. If I listen to what I wanted to do, if I listen to what my brain told me to do, you know, I would go downstairs right now. I'd crack open a fucking bag of Cheetos, open up a Sprite, and I would log off stream and play video games for the rest of the day. That's what I want to do, you know? So I got to have a bit of a strict relationship with what I want versus what I know I should do. Yeah, this is the way. It's not the only way, and it's not a great way either. It's just, yeah. Like, I know Adam Duff would call me an absolute moron. And I love Adam Duff. I look up to him. But I know if he heard me say this shit, if he saw a fucking clip from this stream, of me saying this shit, if he watched the last 20 minutes of my stream, he'd be like, that guy is doing it wrong. But maybe not. Maybe he's like, hey man, you're on your own journey. I don't know. Super burnt out, current freelance job, but his personal project is keeping the artist flame alive. Yeah, you have to definitely protect your passion. You have to guard it. You can't let a lot of projects ruin your... Like I'm very selective about my projects now because I realize there's almost no amount of money I'm willing to take. Almost. If it's going to ruin my passion. Which is why I don't do, like... I never... For instance, like, one thing I do to protect myself from losing my passion for art, I don't work with people I haven't met before and I don't like. Right? I don't mean, like, met in person. But, like, let's say that somebody comes to me and they say, hey, can you do a project for my... Can you draw my players? I want you to do a character design. And I want you to work with each one of my players. I'll turn that shit down so fucking fast. Because, like, I don't know your players. What if they're psychopaths? What if they're crazy? What if they're weird, like, micromanagey fucking weebs that want me to draw anime cat girl, big titty shit, and, like, give me fucking, like, whatever it is that I don't want to do. Like, I don't know them. Right, so I don't accept commissions like from people that I don't like have a little bit of a rapport to. I don't have my commissions publicly posted because I don't want some random dude to come to me on Twitter and being like, "Hey man, can you draw like this thing for the best art for the least price?" You know, because I have no idea if they're going to be like a nightmare to work with. And I've worked with enough people in my client days as a graphic designer. I know how to do this whole thing very well. I think in sousing through like sleuthing through your clients and understanding what is the like red flags. If I get a red flag from somebody, it doesn't matter the project, I'm immediately turning it down, right? Even if it's probably fine, you know, because I've worked with clients since I started doing commissioned art stuff in the last 3 years that have made me want to quit art. And it's like, whoa, okay, that's not worth it, man. I'd rather take one less commission a month than risk working with somebody that's going to make me fucking hate the process. So yeah, you have to, whatever way you have to choose to protect your passion, whether it's have your passion projects that you work on your own, or you take certain work, or you sacrifice certain things, you absolutely have to keep that artist flame alive. You know, I heard Ethan Becker, who's a artist YouTuber, say once that passion is like a resource that you have to tap into. You have to do things to build your passion and also spend it. You spend passion on doing, like, when you're on hour 8 of like drawing hands, you are spending the currency of passion you've built. 100%. There's no passion to be built or constructed in drawing hands, but there is, you know, you just spend that currency. So then you have to like draw cool things and get feedback and do whatever you need to do with your art to sort of build that back up in a way. You know, you have to sort of like give and take and whatnot, and make sure you're always doing stuff that keeps you making you want to make art, but also doing stuff that, you know, is like tests you a little bit or that you struggle against once in a while. I think that's an important balance. I have in my ear every day tell me to get at it. Listen, dude, you have somebody way better in your ear every day, and that's you. You got there's no like motivational YouTube video or me like you need to be fucking told to get your shit together. You tell me you need me to tell you get your shit together. I'll spend 5 minutes to get you fucking ready. All right, I'll help you. That's what you do. That's what you do for your bro. All right, but man, people are so strong and so fucking fearless and badass when you trust yourself and you believe in yourself and you believe like in the systems of the universe that can lead to your success. Dude, I think that's all you need, man. You gotta just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself in sort of a hubristic, unfortunate way. Otherwise, you know, I don't know. I've struggled with this a lot, man. I've like, because for years, like I said, I lost the battle, man. I stopped believing in myself for years. And that was one of the darkest periods of my life. And I don't want to go back there. Even though the last couple of years have been the hardest years of my life by a long shot, which is saying something, I wouldn't trade it for the easier years that were darker. If that makes sense. You know, recently gotten there with my health/diet. I definitely have a bigger ego than I'd like to admit. That's, you know, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to walk into your day and being like, I'm the fucking man, dude. I can do this shit. You know, it's not like there's very rarely like humility is important, obviously, but like humility tempers what should be a powerful ego for creatives, because who are you to dare try and be great if you don't have at least a little bit of an ego telling you that you have the possibility for it, you know? Just like if I try to do something I'm not great at, then I'm bad at everything, despite knowing that's not true. The main way to improve is keep practicing. There's also the ADHD aspect of even when I'm trying to do something, sometimes I'll forget to do it entirely. Yeah, it's tough, man. There's a lot of things that, like, you know, there's a lot of things that make like circumstances that make being an artist or whatever it is really difficult. Like I hear a lot of people like say like they use things like ADHD as a reason as to why they don't practice their art. So like I can't. I'm like Evan, how do I get better at hands? I can't draw hands. I'm like, oh, just draw like 50 hands, and then we'll see what's wrong with it. Like you know, we'll see after you draw your 50 hands. We'll see what problems you have, and I can give you like a 10-hour fundamental drill to get better at it. So after about the first 10 hours of drawing hands and the last 10 hours of doing fundamentals, you'll never have problems drawing hands again. And they're like, oh, you don't understand, Evan. I can't do that. I have ADHD. And I kind of like, I have to balance myself, temper myself between like trying to be like, you know, understanding and wanting to fucking slap people when they say that. Because it's like, okay, yeah, it's hard maybe for you. I get it. It's maybe harder for you than anyone else around you. But like, it would seem like such a fucking insult to my friends that have had like problems. Like I know artists that have deep ADHD issues with trying to get these things done, that find ways to work through it. They get creative or they get disciplined or whatever it is, and they do it. And it's like, just because it's difficult, don't tell me it's impossible. And that's what people do sometimes. They try and tell people it's impossible. Oh, I can't. You don't understand, Evan. I can't do fundamentals. I can't study because I have ADHD. I can't do this because I have whatever. I can't, you know. It's like, dude, I don't know how you're supposed to get through it, but like, people do, and I believe you can too. You know, I'm not going to tell you that it's not going to be hard, or it's not going to maybe be even unfair for you. Why should it be easy for somebody else to get through this thing and it's harder for you? But like, sometimes that's the way fucking life is. There's tons of shit that I've drawn a bad card on that I have sat there for years cursing the world, thinking, why did I have to be like this? You know? But it's like, what are you going to do? Is that going to define you, or is that going to be the thing that you overcome? I really like the old quote, what stands in the way is the way, right? It's like, whatever is the challenge that makes walking the path you're trying to walk really, really difficult, then your job is to conquer that challenge. That's how I felt. That's how I try and handle a lot of the challenging things that happen in my life. I don't like to bitch about a lot of the challenges that I have, you know, from a day-to-day purpose, because people don't give a shit, and I don't give a shit either. But I never like to hear people tell me that why the challenges in their life give them an excuse to not try. Yeah, it can be hard. Maybe things aren't going to happen. I don't know. But don't tell me you can't do it. Tell me it's going to be hard. Tell me it's going to be unfair. Tell me it's going to be brutal. Tell me it's gonna be monumentally unfair that you should have to deal with this thing that you're dealing with while that everybody else doesn't. But don't fucking tell me you can't do it. Because man, people are way better than they think they are. They're way stronger, way fucking cooler than they think they are. You know? And I've seen people overcome shit that I can't, you know. Some people can't, and it's hard, and I get it. It's always hard. But it's very rarely impossible, man. It's so very rarely impossible that I just don't want to hear people like talk so poorly about their capabilities that they tell me that they can't do it with hard work and whatever else, you know, creativity and shit. Like fuck, man, one of the most dedicated artists in our entire guild can't hold a fucking pen because he's like paralyzed or some shit. So he uses a mouse, and then he still gets after it and grinds out his studies. You know, like man, creativity, bro. But like people don't like that message a lot of times, and so I don't talk about it all that often because I get it. People don't want to hear you say, "Try harder." It's not productive. It's not useful for a lot of people. And I get that. It's hard, man. I've got a lot of sympathy for the shit people have to go through, man. Andrew Chat ever watch Gurren Lagann? I watched Gurren Lagann. It was good. Use ADHD as an I'm bored excuse for a reason. Yeah, no, I don't think you are. Main struggle for me is building the habit. Yeah, I feel that. What's going on can be fine. So you're getting to do stuff or do X thing when building the habit. Made it work somehow with working out and eating better. That's awesome. That's really hard to do. Congratulations, dude. You know, that's fucking brutal. I know that's the issue. I have a high aptitude for doing things. Just me getting in my own way, stopping myself from trying. Yeah, I get it. That's the battle. That's the battle. Stay out of your own way and allow yourself to perform the greatness that you know you're capable of. But like, fuck, man, that's so hard. That's so hard, dude. I legitimately believe anyone can be a generational talent as an artist. I believe it. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't believe that art is like locked behind some fucking vault door, some gate, some shroud that is like a mystery as to how, you know, Seb McKinnon and Kekai Kotaki and Jamie Jones and Peter Lee all become master artists and the rest of us are left out in the fucking dirt. I don't think it's a like a binary yes or no. I think it's about you just keep trying to find out whatever you need to do to unlock. Like, you know, one of the most important things to know about art is progression. Art is never a linear graph. It's always plateaus, right? It looks like this. Oops. There we go. Looks like this. But more often, it actually looks like this. Right? It's like... so then you have long periods of... Right? And if you average it out, you're improving. But like, man, some days it doesn't feel like it. Bro, some days it doesn't feel like it whatsoever. And like, this painting didn't feel like it. This painting feels embarrassing. This painting... I almost didn't want to show this off. I didn't want to give this to Dash, though. This painting feels fucking embarrassing. You know? But like... What else do? You just do your piece of art, and then you just keep going. You try and learn and do better for the next one. Alright. I need new water, I think. I think my... Wait, what the fuck? Window's all closed. Alright, my computer's being... Dude, my computer's so fucking haunted. It's so cursed today, I don't get it. Everything to do with my computer is cursed today. I don't... Keyboard's dead. Fucking OBS was acting up before stream. I feel like I just need a fucking restart on it. I need to reformat everything. Alright. I'll bite. Alright. Alright, dude. I'll bite. What do we got here? What do we got? The Virginia opossum. Now, apparently, and I could be wrong about this, but apparently a possum and an opossum are two different things. Yeah, I was not privy to this, but supposedly the possum and opossum are different. So the Virginia opossum, this right here is what I imagine the face behind the name when somebody tries to brag about being self-taught as an artist on the internet. Right? Like, this is the face. Right? Like when somebody's like, hey, it's so hard to find jobs as an artist these days. Especially for self-taught artists. It's like, why does that matter? There should be some like different metric for like, I don't know. This is the face, I imagine. So because of that, Aduria, since this week is the possum meta, I am going to rate the Virginia opossum as a solid 9-2 because it formed a good meme. So, congratulations, man. That was a good one today. You definitely did a good job today finding your your submission. Oh God, thank you for that, Aduria. I appreciate it. Fun fact, the theme this week was marsupials, and the Virginia opossum is the only North American marsupial. Really? Is a kangaroo a marsupial? They have the marsupial pouch. That's where it comes from, right? So do other marsupials have marsupial pouch? Are marsupiali common pouch bearers? Are there other... How many creatures... How many marsupials have a pouch? Let's see. Spotted-tailed. Wait, what? Do these all have pouches? Is that a thing? How many pouch bearing marsupials are there that are not kangarooian? Less than half of all individual marsupials actually have a pouch. Even amongst the most well-known species like kangaroos, koalas, and wombats, it's only females that have them. Pouches are particularly rare amongst male marsupials. Interesting. So wombats have a pouch. Wombat pouch. Not wombat poop. Wombats have pouches. What the fuck? Look at him. He's just hanging out of the... He's just chilling. Who knew, man? Who knew? I'm learning something today. Thank you for the marsupial meta, Aduria. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. I'm very excited about that. All right. I didn't realize what time it was, but oh, hey, hold on. Let me just bring this up real quick because we were talking about it. I need to end stream because I need to go do something with Ella. I can only stream till about 1 today, but I'm behind already, which sucks. This is Silessa. She is, in my opinion, one of the artists that is good to follow for sort of the healthy discussion on your mental. She posts a little bit often about, like, you know, the chin up their young soldier artist, which is, you know, I don't think it's exploitative. Like I did mention, some people are exploitative. I think Silessa is great. This is a great message right here. Give yourself 3 months of dedicated art practice and draw 30 to 60 minutes a day minimum. I would say longer. If this is my take on this, to react to this and give it my own spin, I would say if you're trying to actually see improvement, you wanted to see a 3-month transformation, I want to see 2 hours a day. I want to see 2 solid hours a day minimum. If you want to do 2 to 4, that's the range I'd say. You want to do more than that, make sure it's not every day, or else you're going to get fucking burned. Draw what you love. I agree. Fundamentals are great, but it depends on how gritty. Like if you're a fucking Giga Chad, make sure half of that's fundamentals. But if you don't have the mental, emotional, whatever framework to do fundamentals for half of your fucking art for 3 months, don't worry about it. This is like yesterday, I said, if you're going to the gym, do the exercises you think are fun, not optimal. Because I'd rather put somebody, for me too, I need this. I'm not strong enough to go to the gym mentally and do shit I don't want to do. I have to make the gym fun, even though it's not optimal. Oh, this exercise you're doing is an optimal way to train your back. It's like, yeah, but this is way more fun than fucking, you know, whatever, pull downs, rows, whatever, you know, pick it up and put it down. I like doing deadlifts. Deadlifts aren't the best way to work your back out, Evan. I don't care. I like doing deadlifts. Get off it, right? Do what you like if it's going to make sure you do it. Surround yourself with creative people. Yes, this is why I started streaming, because I missed being around creative people. I missed being around in a game studio environment where I could talk to people about art. I was alone in my house every single day. I had no friends, except for my World of Warcraft buddies, who suck. I had my D&D friends, which is good. And I wanted people around me that I liked hanging out with, and I like almost every single person that enters my chat. It's a very unique thing that I'm very proud of as a streamer. It's a self-inflated ego thing that I am proud of. I am proud that I like most of my interactions with the people that I talk to every single day, because it's hard to get as a streamer, and other streamers are fucking jealous of me because they acknowledge that, and they're like, dude, everyone in your community is super cool. Like, you don't have like a lot of annoying whatever, like so yeah. Analyze what is working / not working in your practice. Agree. Regularly ask for feedback from peers. That's the hard part. Find peers, and I guarantee you'll see results. Yep. I would go a bit more hardcore for this because I have to. But she's trying to give a widespread, like, the thing is, okay, you know what the actual, like, maybe, I'm not sure if she'd agree with this or not. But I would say that this is the advice that if you have to get it, if you are not disciplined enough that you need advice on how to improve your art, this advice is for you. But like, obviously, if somebody was like super disciplined and like no, Evan, I'm gonna go hardcore. You need to do more hours than this. You need to do more whatever. Anyone that that would listen to you, if you said, I want you to do 4 hours a day of fundamentals and 2 hours a day of practice of fun stuff. That's what I want you to do to become a good artist. That person doesn't need you to tell them. They're already doing it. And if they need you to tell them, they're not going to do it. So this is kind of like good general advice. That's why Silas is actually a really good art educator and communicator, is because she has a good understanding of what's required to be done for what levels of success you want, but also she's very good at giving advice to people that will get them on the road to being great. So she's a goat. Go follow her on Twitter if you don't. If you're wondering about art stuff. Also, I don't know, if you just want to see cool art. So I like Salisa. Until last year I thought peers was US slang for superiors. Really? Maybe if you have a low ego about yourself as an artist, then they absolutely are. So I need to find more artist friends at some point. Always needs more art friends. Yeah, it's hard to find artist friends, peers. Like, that's what I really like about working in studios. The problem is a lot of artists that are like in the Twitter sphere, like indie artists like you and I, Thorkin, and like, you know, commissioned artists, whatever, don't have a very strong artist identity. They have this like sort of conceptual idea of what they want to be as an artist, but they don't really have this like rabid obsession. And the thing I loved the most about like when I was at school, and this is one of the reasons why art school I think is very good and why I recommend people go to art school, because every day I would go to school, my friends and I would talk about art. We would all get to school about an hour and a half early because we had to. except for our one friend who lived in the dorms for the school right next to us. So he just got to school because we were there every day early. But we had to get to school early because if you were late for more than 2 classes, you failed the semester. So you are not going to risk being late. You got there an hour and a half to 2 hours early because if traffic had you in traffic for a fucking hour, it was only a half-hour trip to school, but I still left 2 hours early. So we all got there super early, and you sit down, and everyone would talk about art. We would bring in art books that we got. Like, yo, guys, I remember I got the Guild Wars 2 art book before Guild Wars 2 launched, and we looked at that art book for fucking days, for weeks, man, just studying it. It's beautiful when you find people like that, and it's hard online. So I'm trying really hard to grow TDC and to grow as a streamer. I haven't been, but I'm going to start because I want more artists and creative people. I want more writers. I want more World Anvil, users. I want more D&D players. I want more creative people in our space because it's just so fucking good when you have people around. And I love that about our Discord. Our Discord's like, pretty good. It's pretty big, honestly, for like a streamer Discord, a streamer my size, because it's not about my stream. It's about Discord, like our projects and stuff. But I'm trying really hard to grow it because I want more people that are like passionate about it. And in order to do that, in order to attract better artists, I need to be better artists. So I recognize I'm not going to build the kind of community that you want necessarily, Thorkin, that I want until I'm a much better artist. And I have to try harder and get better. That's my goal this year, is to try and not be so shitty. So we're doing it. We're fucking crushing it. We're all gonna be okay, boys. We're all gonna be okay. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be fucking amazing, successful creatives. But hey, I gotta go do some stuff today with Ella. Unfortunately, I had to end stream 20 minutes ago. So that's awkward, but I think she's late getting home anyway, so I don't think it's actually a problem. But either way, I will see you guys tomorrow for our requests. Friday requests. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be dope. I have plans. I have a theme that I want to sort of maybe, a theme that I'll save it for tomorrow. But whatever ideas, all ideas are valid, are good, are acceptable, but I'm going to theme all the ideas to something kind of cool that hopefully is kind of dope. So I look forward to seeing you all.
People leave.
Okay. Well, that's a tier 3 sub with just people leave for 46 months. I guess thank you, Dashto, even though you're gone. All right. Where's my outro? I'm sorry. Dashto's telling me to fuck off. He's telling me to people leave. So sorry, guys. I'm sorry I rambled. Anyway, I don't know if this kind of like art talk is like useful. I don't know if people like it or if it's just kind of annoying and like, yeah, I'll tune it out. And I always respect feedback on my stream. People say like, hey man, like I love the just chatting stuff at the beginning of the stream, but like once you start making art, it's like, man, it's like kind of chill. Or like, I love when you're talking about this, but when you start talking about Twitch and streaming or like art or whatever, the business, it's like kind of boring. So I never really know, but hopefully our little art talks once in a while are useful for all y'all's, for anybody who cares or anybody who's just interested, But either way, final message on that is you're an amazing person. No matter what you are trying to do, I believe in you because I believe in the human capability of doing amazing shit. I think we're all a lot cooler than we actually give ourselves credit for. And even though I feel like I'm an absolute loser in life, I believe in myself because I believe in a power higher than myself. It's not a religious thing. I believe that like my own capabilities are more vast than I'm currently utilizing, and it's a hopeful thing for me. And I believe in everybody. I believe in all y'all for doing whatever you want to do, for whether it's fucking art or your business or your health or blacksmithing, Oda, whatever it is. I think you have the possibility to be the greatest example your generation has ever seen of whatever it is you want to do in life. But anyway, love y'all. Until next time, my friends. Farewell.